episode.
I loved the third episode, even though I was watching a video. Like I like watching those, behind the scenes, Easter egg videos, things that we call it. So I watch Screen Crush. They've been really good at it, and based off, and they're gonna release a video sometime today or tomorrow. I think it's gonna be on how is Daredevil Matt Murdock as a lawyer, because based on that, he's awful. You know what I mean? So that in that episode, without giving too much away, a lot of things he did should probably get him barred.
Disbarred, yeah. I mean, it's there's definitely some elements of that, which is, if you want to go take a depth from reality, yeah. But at the end of the day, I still enjoyed this episode, and even if you have a strong understanding just from a storytelling point, where it's going with with certain elements, right? You go, okay, cool, I get it. Now, I think the biggest thing that I thought was the most unbelievable of anything in that entire episode was the verdicts, because there should have been some at one of the lesser charges should have been
guilty.
Yeah, because everybody, there was no doubt about it. The only thing in question, the only thing being questioned in the entire court proceeding is whether or not it's a premeditated or intentional, or it's first degree, second degree. Is it accidental? That's the
So the real difference is, was it murder or was it manslaughter?
Right.
So it's,
I mean, I guess,
but here's the thing:
just by the virtue of him getting involved.
But here's the part.
You can't say, "Oh, it was just an accident." Well, it was just an accident. It would have happened if he wasn't there. But it was his direct involvement that causes it to be there.
Yes, but was it intentional? That's where the question lies. So I could understand the verdict being, and are we going spoiler here? Because at this point we probably are. So spoiler for you guys who haven't seen Daredevil 3.
If you care about verdicts.
Right? If you care about verdicts. If it was considered an act of self-defense, which even though he perpetrated, trying to stop the fight, of course, if it's an act of self-defense, then it's not manslaughter. And he fell back.
Involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah. But involuntary manslaughter is a sign of negligence, which wasn't the case here. This was clearly an act of self-defense, and the guy fell back into a train. So, and I'm no lawyer, so I can't say anything. I watch my share of lawyer shows.
I play one when it comes to contract law, but that's about it.
Yeah. But based on that, I could see how it wasn't voluntary manslaughter or anything like that, because the guy did fall back as opposed to him pushing him back.
It's just the crime of killing another, or of having someone become unalived, but unlawfully and but unintentionally. So the question is, I guess, whether that in that thing he's like, okay, well, I don't know. Anyways. So yeah, it can only be self-defense. Yeah, he wasn't attacked, Mike. So anyways, I still thought that I could have seen,
they can't all be fighting.
But hey, that wouldn't have led to led the show where it wanted to go from a story standpoint. I get it. Yeah. So we needed.
But at this point, we're 3 episodes in, and we're gonna get our 4th episode, and yet the rumors are kind of true what they were originally being intended. He doesn't turn into Daredevil. He obviously we get the Daredevil the first 10 minutes of the show. That's all we got of Daredevil right now. So there was rumors that he doesn't turn to Daredevil until 4 episodes in, and we're 4 episodes in, and he hasn't turned it back
Well,
into
it makes
Daredevil.
and it would make sense because he's made this commitment. He's not going to do this, and this is all setting up, and that's where
Mhm.
I like this stuff. And I think that some of the people who are disliking the show, it's because they're saying like, either they're too hung up on fighting or they're too hung up on this. I mean, I'm not saying that the writing is the greatest writing in the world, but this isn't like horrible television either. And I think that where we're going when you're talking about this is this is 3 hours of a 10+ hour or
Mhm.
whatever 10 segment
Yeah, it's about
show,
10 episodes.
and we started off from the very beginning establishing that he's given up this mantle and he's made a commitment to that.
Mhm.
And so what is that build up, those necessary steps, the build up to get him to now give up this commitment
Mhm.
essentially to himself, his friends, whatever else that pulls him back into the mix.
Yeah, and the same thing with Kingpin. So what I really love is the way they're paralleling. They're doing a parallel on their lives where Kingpin is trying to do things a certain way, which I honestly believe he is actually trying to do, because everything that has happened wasn't him. It's all Vanessa.
Right.
Vanessa's doing all this, right? And which eventually will get him to that stage. So he's gonna revert back to being Kingpin, which leads Matt to revert back to being Daredevil. And I love how they're doing it. And they're constantly, using camera angles and things like that. Like the scene where they show Wilson's fist and you can see the little bruises. And
Yep.
from someone who has a cat, I got bruises just like that. So I take it he has a cat. He's not really doing anything violent. It's just a cat. But I love how you see the fist, and then it just cuts into Matt doing it, cleaning his hands from his fist being bruised. Which I love that you're seeing a lot of that, where you're seeing them being the opposite. Where if Kingpin's in on the rooftop, Matt's in the bottom. You know what I mean? And I think there's a lot of cool things as far as storytelling elements that are subtle. I think the show's doing a great job in that.
Well, and I think
um
that I'm sorry.
yeah, go ahead.
I think that one of the things that you're going to see that helps to drive Kingpin is his, and we're seeing some of his struggles with. He's used to, I say something, we do it, right,
Mhm.
and having to deal with the realities of law and being a mayor, and that you don't always do that. And while he thinks that he's done it, I'm sure that some of the stuff like this pothole stuff is going to come back to bite him, or something somehow go wrong, which is going to cause more frustration and all this stuff with the 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 mechanisms of uh, government type of thing. So I think those are very subtle things that we're going to see come about. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Do
I'm a
we're
huge fan.
welcome everybody. 10 men, almost 10 minutes into the start of this show here. Do you want to say hello, Darth Lopez, 7-Eleven coffee? Not for me, but hey, sometimes you drink what's available to you. Uh, Paul Morales, hey everyone. Mike, of course, chiming in with the conversation, helping us out there with a little his perspective on legal action. That's great. And Alan Rue, good morning, good afternoon, hello.
Yeah, Alan.
I guess it's not afternoon for nobody in the United
It's
States yet,
morning.
but there's somewhere for someone somewhere. I hear DVH.
There
Good
we go.
afternoon. Um,
It was neither.
he's not here, but yeah. Dave, hello, and
Hey,
JSS,
JSS.
hello. How you doing? Yeah. Mark. LS Nostalgie, but what are you gonna do?
Well, I
What
was
was gonna?
debating what I was going to pop up in that, because I got a
Oh,
lot of work today.
yeah, so do I. It's not gonna be a little. If yeah, at some point he'll have to come on because it's not a long show. I got a lot of people out, uh, and we're closing in on that end of month stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Let's see, and Evil Mike self defense also comes into play in defense of others. Okay. Interest in Blood Moon last night. I know my son went out to go take a look at it, but unfortunately, where we're at, it was raining. Off and on, we had a lot of cloud cover, so he was unable to see it. But Yeah, it's always fun to see. We actually
Sorry, I got a visitor. Got to take care of the visitor here.
You got a cat?
He likes coming in to get inside the boxes.
Cat in a box. Ship it to a friend. I hope it never comes back.
Yeah, not sugaring his cat. So I have like some
Could you
boxes
imagine that'd
laying
be the
down.
worst thing, worse than packing peanuts, is to open up a box with a fucking cat in it that's been in there. It's not dead. The cat's been there but it's been in there for a day or two, and it's ready to come out. And you open up that box and it comes right at you. No, no, no. I'm done.
I miss
Uh,
having a dog. I will admit, but I,
yeah,
a dog
me
is
too, Al.
hard to take care of. When you're constantly in and out. I love having a dog though. I'd rather have a dog more than anything. But the girls wanted a cat. They wanted a pet. Emotional support as they like to call it these days.
It's
So
how
I
we ended up
caved
with
in.
the dog that we have right now. Is my youngest during COVID was dealing with a lot of depression and stuff, and
Yeah. So
wanted a companion.
and I will admit she has very dog-like qualities.
Well, I
Because
think
this is the second cat we've had. The other cat, he was more of a jerk. She's not. So
I think my wife is more regretting this. I've done a very good job of like being as much as possible trying to be somewhat distant from the dog early on,
yeah.
because I was very clear that I was happy in our state of having, I've had dogs in the past. I
Mhm.
was very happy in the state of not having dogs and the responsibilities of such, and that I was going to abdicate said responsibilities because somebody else wanted a dog didn't mean that it was now my responsibility to do a bunch of stuff. So aside from feeding the dog, I don't do it. And I'm usually the one who ends up taking her to the vet. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah.
So my wife, I think, though, now that our youngest is gone, sometimes regrets things. Like tonight, like I was telling you backstage, I chose to sleep out in the living room on my recliner because it's easier for me to wake up early for the show if I'm not sleeping soundly in my bed. Well, at some point, I was sleeping sound enough, and at some point around 3 o'clock this morning, the dog got up and decided he wanted to go to the bathroom. Rather than wake me, dog was sleeping on the couch next to me. Rather than wake me up or alert me, dog walked down the hallway and pawed at the bed to wake my wife up. So my wife then had to get up, walk out, take the dog outside and stuff. Well, I'm like sitting there like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize. She's all, yeah, I know. The dog comes and gets me. It's like,
Yeah. So what she does is she has her moments like she looks like she's parkouring at times. So the kids call it the zoomies, I guess. And she's just running about. Right. She likes going into our bedroom and she likes sleeping in our bed. But then when she gets to that point that she's just all antsy and stuff like that, you got to kick her out. So she has this thing. There's a dresser next to my bed, so where I sleep, and then right next to me is my dresser, which is a higher dresser. She gets to the top of the dresser, but then when she wants to get down, she uses me as a platform to jump to. So that's that. But on a better subject, the Elite Comic Expo, JSS wants to know how was it overall. It was the first of its kind. So Elite Comic Expo, it's Elite Comics 11. They do a lot of virtual conventions, or really they do virtual consignments and things like that. This was their first attempt at doing their little con. I use the word little because it was a gymnasium at St. John's University, and they scored. They did a great job. Good vendors, absolutely good prices. I went in with $200. I came out with no money in my wallet, and just like that. But when you go to a convention and you spend the money that you plan on spending and come out with a good set of books, like I came out with 2 slabs. I got the Omega Men 3. I picked up Amazing Spider-Man 315 and 17 because I own 16. I picked up the Peter Parker, the one that I told you about, Peter Parker 90. I picked that one up, and I picked up some other small books here and there, like just fun books to have. And I spent $200, and I was happy. I left happy. I left at a good time. We stood there till about. The place opened at 10, so I was there at 10, and we stood there. I stood there till about, I want to say 3 o'clock, and I left happy. So it was a really good show, and it was definitely a good turnout to my question. If you go ahead and look at Mighty Comics and Collectables, Lawrence, he has a really good video. I have a live stream where I was hanging out just talking to people. I think I really enjoyed doing those live stream walkthroughs because you never know what you're gonna get from them. And I can't wait to do it in a couple of weeks with with Cliff, which I'm sure is going to be hilarious for King Kong. But that's a show that, any comic book collector, if you're going to collect comics, that's the show you want to go to, a show like that, because you're going to get comics.
It looked pretty cool. Some of the bits I'd seen, because I'd also seen one of Ilson, who's been on Only Slabs a few times. He had flown out from the UK there for that show.
Really? That far?
He does. I think he sells quite frequently with them.
Okay.
And stuff. So I think that's why he was there and such. So, but yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I'm getting pumped I'm excited right now for WonderCon coming up here in a couple weeks. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Now, WonderCon is part of San Diego. Am I right?
Yeah, it's hosted by the same company that does San Diego Comic-Con does WonderCon over here in Anaheim. I'm saying over here, Anaheim's 7 hours away from me, but it's closer to me than San Diego is by about an hour. So yeah, I've never been to it before, but there's a ton of obviously not only is it the home convention for the West Coast members of the Comic Book Fiend Club, but it's also there's a lot of YouTubers and whatnot down in that Southern California area that are going, which would be kind of cool. We kind of meet some of these guys face to face because they're not necessarily they can't make it out to Heroes Con, all of them. So
yeah, it's not easy.
Nope.
It's I've been wanting to go down. I still don't know what's my status on San Diego because it is bucket list item that I want to do. So I don't know what's the outcome on that. I'm still waiting on that one. It's definitely hopeful. I got enough connections now that I probably should be able to do it if I wanted to do it on my own. But it's always better to get a free ticket to a show than to having to pay for one, right?
It depends. I mean, the shows aren't that. Some of the times I don't think they're that much, but I know other times, everything's relative.
Yeah,
grand scheme of things. So,
but with the money, the way I look at it, the money I usually spend at the show makes up for it. So makes me happy that I don't have to spend that money like that because I'm sure from San Diego's prices, New York Comic Con's expensive, even as a pro. So what New York Comic Con first launched, they would give pro passes for free. So you just apply for it, they accepted you, and then you go in for free. Then they changed it to $10, which is still fine. You get a full weekend for $10. That was cool. I don't mind doing that. And then somehow they upped it to $25, and now I believe the ticket's about $100 for a pro pass, which is still better than your standard ticket because it's still a 4-day pass.
Okay, those are pretty expensive then at that point. Yeah, I don't know what San Diego Comic Con runs because I've never bought that ticket.
I don't think they charge like that. I don't think they charge like that.
I do know like WonderCon was like $130 for a 3-day pass. So it was
$130. That's good.
Yeah, something like that. Well, that was at the early bird special, and I think now it's like 140, 150 or something like that. But still,
New York charges $90 a day, and that's before all the taxes and convenient fees. So you end up paying $125 for
or
for a
220.
day.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Mhm.
Let's see. Blue Hellion says hello, everybody. Is more Legion. Robin Izzy is more Legion. Says more. There you go. Thank you very much. Back to Alan. Alan, you're getting really spoilery and stuff, and I'm gonna say, no, I don't think it was.
I don't think anybody believes that's Punisher.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
there's
The
that's
way it
not his
was,
MO.
the scene played out was made intentionally to lead people to think that it would be, but obviously, that would be too bizarre.
Y-
Um,
Yeah,
if
and
it
I
turns
think
out that it is, then it's gonna be really lazy writing on the part of. It'll turn
if
my
it,
opinion
it
very.
well, if it turns out that it was or is, then it has to be really creative writing to make it him.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And I doubt if it's him because I think based on what I've seen in trailers, I think he's semi-retire again. Right? He has the whole beard thing, and that's I guess that's how you retire in this world of vigilante. You have to grow a beard.
Mhm.
You have to grow a big beard to be a retired vigilante.
Mike, I don't know how much SDCC is currently anymore. I mean, like I said, I've never been. I really don't have a desire to go. My sister went 1 year, somewhat recently, about 3 years ago, and told me that it was just pain to stand in line. And I say, well, I hate people. I hate being in big crowds, and I don't like standing in lines. So I'm out. Um, let's see here. What is it?
Looking,
In the
there's a
show, have you seen Muse yet? You know,
no.
s- I okay. I was gonna say I'm not familiar with Daredevil
Mhm.
property outside of the TV shows, really. So I don't even know. I wouldn't know. Like they could have had the the character in their street name, and I wouldn't have known and squat.
So as far as Muse goes, he hasn't been introduced properly. There is a scene in the show, if you remember, where the Daredevil's love interest, Matt's love interest, I forget her name. She's
The,
signing books.
the therapist, yeah.
Yeah, she's signing books, and there's this one guy who's very creepy, who's
Uh
looking
huh.
for that could be him.
Mm.
That's the only conclusion I could come up with. That could be him. If that's not him, there's something up with that character. So I'm assuming that's going to be him. And I knew Muse wasn't going to be the villain of the show. I'm sure he's going to be like one or two episodes, kind of like with White Tiger. Um, it doesn't make sense for him to have like be a whole story arc. I think someone like Bullseye, yeah, but Muse is Muse. He's going to be there for 2 episodes, maybe 3. You know.
Fair enough. Maybe undercover. The Punisher believes he's trying to infiltrate the police force. Was wrong. No. Yeah, Muse, maybe a background villain.
Could it? So here's another rumor. It could be that that's the new Punisher. You
All
know
right.
the
Well.
new comic book they use that guy as a rumor.
All right. 20 minutes of talking about that show that Mark isn't really a super fan of, so we can cross that off the list. But it was the backdrop image there, so that's all good. We'll go on to a show that Mark does like. You watching Reacher at all?
I have not watched Reacher.
Mm.
I did hear news that he wants to be Batman bad.
Well, he'd make a one hell of an absolute Batman.
He would make a great Batman.
But
So
otherwise, if he's supposed to be a normal Batman, it just wouldn't be. I wouldn't buy it because it's the ability to one of the things with Batman when he gets too muscular,
Mhm,
if and too big, he's not going to stand out, or he's going to stand out. And the
mhm,
problem is when you're Bruce Wayne mode, when you
mhm,
transform into Bruce Wayne, you can't hide amongst the regular people. People kind of notice, wow, you are a huge man, Mr. Wayne. Wow, Bruce Wayne or Batman, you are pretty damn huge. you know what? It's whereas if you're just like a 6 foot tall, 5'9", or 5'10", 5'11", 6 foot, that somewhat normal height range. You're not overly built type
Yeah.
of thing, where then you can blend in when you're Bruce Wayne amongst the crowd. So that's what you
But
need.
haven't we seen that time and time again to the point that, I think the only one that's been like the bigger version of a Bruce Wayne has been Ben Affleck.
Right.
Everybody
But at that
before
point,
him has been a
at that
smaller.
point he'd given up being Bruce Wayne essentially,
Yeah.
for the
So
most
why
part.
can't, and
I mean,
it's
well, that's
starting
not
to,
true, I guess, but it seemed like he had.
they're making it seem like this version of Batman is going to be an older version as well. Maybe not Dark Knight aged, but an older version, which I think he could pull it off. He has the chin. I'll give him
Well, I
that
mean,
much.
yeah, I mean, if you're going to go into an older version where he's, towards the dystopia world and he's, basically running as Batman almost 24/7 and not, then fine, whatever. But still,
Yeah.
again, I just think he's, in my mind,
Mhm.
he's too big.
Yeah.
Um,
He went
even
off the record that say he'll do it for free, even though I don't believe that. But to say that is to
he
say
he
that
wouldn't
he's
he
willing.
wouldn't be able to, not in
Yeah,
it, because the Actors Guild wouldn't allow it. Ladies and
but at
gentlemen,
the
all
same,
the way from Australia at a super early or late, depending upon your point of reference time of day, we have ourselves the one, the only, unless of course you're counting clones, Omnibo.
Yeah.
I see what you did there. I see what
There
you
you
did there. How are you, boys?
how you
Good.
doing?
Are we talking to the original Omnibo or are we talking to the cloned version?
Hang on a minute. Normal clone.
Okay.
That's the only way I can tell.
Got it.
The bigger jerk.
I'm here for 2 seconds, mate.
I can't help myself.
It's a white hole. Wait.
So if he's going off, if right, what's his name? Alan Richmond.
Rickton. I don't
Yeah,
care.
Richmond. Richmond is
We
a
know who you're
different
talking
guy.
about.
If he's going off of trying to get the job for pennies on the dollar, and people want him,
Basically, he'll do it at scale.
yeah, he's also looking at the royalties that come along with that, because I'm sure there'll be anybody who's played Batman guaranteed will have money to go in the future, because even when they're broke, they could just do conventions all day, right? Because that's what happens when no one cares about you. You just do conventions.
Especially for the ladies.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I think give him a shot. At least let him audition and see what you get.
Sure.
Because he looks the part. I'll give it to him.
He's too big.
Alan Richmond as Batman. Reacher.
Alan,
the guy who plays Reacher.
Reacher.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. He's good. I haven't seen Reacher, but I know him from other stuff. Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he played Hawk. If you remember,
that's it.
He played Hawk.
It. Yeah. That's where I liked him.
And I believe he was a Terminator as well.
Oh, was he? In what? Which Terminator?
Yeah, exactly. Which Terminator? The one no one cares about.
Probably one of the Genesis or something.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I like the actor.
He ain't no Aquaman, Mike. That I could tell you. Aquaman should be a lean character.
Yeah, you got you do all that swimming. Yeah,
I think Aquaman should have a swimmer's body because he's Aquaman. So Michael Phelps, if you're out there,
I don't know that Michael Phelps has the same swimmer's body as he used to, but hey.
Oh, I'm sure he does. That just doesn't stop.
If you're not burning billions of calories a day, it stops, unless you stop consuming. Is the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Rob Schneider would make a good Aquaman.
Did you just say Rob Schneider?
Yeah.
Sure. The copy man. The copy machine man.
Dude,
he just sits there in his throne. Hey.
Exactly. Talking to the fish. JSS, yes, they did, my friend. Yes, they did. Thank you very much for asking.
A nice intimate environment with Mark from Legion of Comics.
I don't know. I was going to say it's a creepy like intro. It's like talking about Batman.
I reached out.
Very
So
orange sunlight.
So I already had a couple commissions that were set up for WonderCon, but then I had they released an updated blog with some new folks that were taking commissions ahead of time, and I was looking through the artwork and I found there was a pair of guys, a pencil inker combo that were doing stuff, and the rates were reasonable as a combo. And I was looking through stuff and it looked really good, so I reached out to one of them and I just threw out my idea, and they instantly, he's like, "Oh, I so want to do this." So I said, "You know what? Because I'm doing these rogues characters, for Batman and Spider-Man and stuff." I said, "You know what? I haven't done." I said, "Could you do like a Solomon Grundy coming out of the swamps and stuff?" And dude's like, "Dude, I haven't done Solomon Grundy in so long." He says, "We're fucking in." I told him I wanted it to be like kind of dark, almost kind of horror vibe-ish type Solomon Grundy emerging from the swamp. So I'm like, now I'm
That'd be cool.
Yeah, be good. It's no Ben Riley, but I mean, what are you gonna do?
You know who I'd love to see? Like, I know you're not talking
A
about
chasm.
it.
I actually already have a chasm.
What a
sketch
twist,
cover
Rob. Solomon
on
Grundy's true identity is Uncle Ben.
Wow.
He's born on a Monday.
Yeah, no, Bo. I have a nice Scarlet Spider blank that's been done with a chasm on the cover.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's mad. I've decided as well, like, I've been trying to work out what to do with the other side of this.
Chasm.
That's it. I'm going to do it.
Because fuck Kane.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I think chasms would look better.
Yeah.
But
that's
knowing
two,
me as well,
two sides of the same clone versus two
yeah,
different clones. Yeah.
yeah. And then I bet you as soon as I get it, he goes back to his normal costume.
I hope not. I hope they really. I really wish that at some point here they would take some time and develop that character out, because I think that
That's asking way too much.
Well, they have started to change him. Like, he's not this evil guy anymore. He's a little bit. He's almost like what Kane was when he first became the Scarlet Spider. You know, that questionable anti-hero.
Keeping him as the great thing where he had so much possibility is the mirror essentially of Peter Parker but who's completely obsessed over this whole memory aspect, right?
Yeah.
He knows some stuff, but he's missing some memories. He wants some of these things. His power, it creates that opportunity to have that peak villain that you can come up against periodically, like they used to do with Venom back in the early days before Venom and he had called their truce and fucking went their separate ways type of shit.
Yeah.
You could have this freaking great buildup as a rival that would be, I think, that you could do so much with, because they are essentially two sides of the same coin. But man, if they wishy-washy it and have him either go completely back or have him become another freaking Venom, that's like, what do I need that for? We already have 12 different Venoms and everything, and 18 billion other spider people. He disappears and just becomes another spider person versus taking that step towards being one of the great top tier arch nemesis of Spider-Man.
Well, it just kills me, man, because I've said it 100 times. The reason why Ben Reilly is my favorite superhero is because he showed me that he was more of a positive, hopeful person than Peter Parker. And they've taken all that away from him. So fair enough. I get why, because you can't have two of the same sort of Peter Parkers. That's a bit boring, I guess. So if you're going to make him something, then the antithesis of Spider-Man is the right call. But you know what?
Especially with the Spider-Verse, what they've done with the Spider-Verse. There's just every time they want a
Yeah.
slightly different Spider-Man, they just bring in 27 other people, and now you got Spider-Boy, and now you got this, and you got that. So it's like, God, you can't have just. I mean, no matter how much you want to be a fan of Ben Riley, as from that aspect, it's just like at this point, he just became another Spider person. Is all he is now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And that's the shame because, when he first came, it was original. And now it's very much not. One of the most haunting scenes that I never forgot, that always just kills me, man, was in the Clone Conspiracy. Did you ever read that one?
Yes.
When they showed what the Jackal did or Miles Warren did to Ben Riley, how he kept killing him and bringing him back and killing him and bringing him, man, that hurts me. Like I've never sat there and gone for a character that I remember just thinking to myself, you poor soul. Like, oh my God. And that killed me, man. That killed me.
Mike says chasm all day.
3 times a week.
Wow. My age, I'm not up for 3 times a day, but that's just me. Wait, sorry. Doomsday.
What about Doomsday?
Says Mark. Oh, Mike.
What, the antithesis, maybe?
Oh. Doomsday is Superman. Super duper man.
Where did he go? And he's commenting in the chat.
No, that was Mike. Evil's Comics.
Oh,
is he?
Yeah.
Oh well, he might be working a little bit. He was saying he's got a lot of work that was going on. So
talking about dying over and over. Yeah, right. In fact, there's a lot of Doomsday I haven't read, and I hate it because I was such a mark for the death of Superman, and I read everything Doomsday after, but then I just really pretty much stopped with DC, and I read a little bit of the Reign of Superman. Was it the Reign? No, the Reign of Doomsday storyline.
okay.
But there's been so much more Doomsday since then that I really want to read it all, man. I heard there was a storyline recently where Superman had to help Doomsday or save him from some other evil threat, and I'm like, what?
The person that would know is this guy over here. He's the Superman guy, not me.
Yeah.
I've actually struggled because we've had we've been doing this cover challenge this month for the Comic Book Fiend Club, where they've been doing this March Madness matchups, and Superman's been in some of is in the brackets, and he's every single time he's been in one of the brackets. I've said, okay, well, I would pick Superman over the other guy, but you're then supposed to post a comic book with the cover of it. And I'm like, surprisingly, for a man who has as many comics as I have, I don't have that many that have Superman on the cover, let alone any kind of cool cover necessarily, unless I go, I guess maybe the only books I haven't really looked at is I should go look at my Justice League books. He's obviously on a few of those.
Yeah.
But I don't have a lot of them. I only have like one small piece of one run, of Justice League. When I was like, oh, I'm going to try to get into this. I'm going to try to read more DC. I'll read Justice League because that's got all the characters. Yeah, well, that didn't pan out for me. But I tried.
Fair enough.
Anyways,
Izzy says that's the most recent Superman run, where Doomsday gets help or whatever it is. And Doomsday was the king of hell. Is hell different than that hell, the way evil split it?
I assume he's doing the apostrophe there because for some reason YouTube censors if you don't, I guess.
No, there was a character. I remember when the DC did the Villains Month many years ago. There was a character called Hell with HE,
apostrophe.
LL.
Apostrophe.
Sorry, yeah. So I thought that was a character. So now I'm getting even more confused. So this is what happens when you don't read DC that much.
Yeah, well, all right. Let's go back to Spider-Verse then.
Okay.
So have we gone ahead and moved Ben Riley over into the bad guys room?
Never. It's not going to happen, mate.
All right.
It's not going to happen.
That's the last
But
time
I
I'll
am.
ask you that for today.
Yeah, well, you can keep asking me. I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all.
I can tell. So, what you got? Today's Saturday, right?
It is Friday night.
Nearly Saturday.
Back. You happy?
Not
Yes,
really. I wish you went away
we're
for longer.
ecstatic. I mean, Bo is he just came.
You know
second
who
came
belongs
on
in my
screen.
villain's room?
Mark.
No,
I'm not
he's
the villain.
Yeah, in my world you are.
You're in the villain's room right now.
That's correct.
So you're the villain.
No, I'm the
That's the
host.
thing. That's the thing. Most villains think they're the heroes.
That is true.
So therefore,
That is true. But you said it as well.
I never said anything.
Yeah, you did. You said you're not a villain.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, rewind. I've got it here.
Mhm. Go ahead, have fun.
Fuck you.
You see, you started it again. I love you too, bro.
I love you too,
No,
man.
Mike. Absolutely not.
Make Peter the villain. Yeah,
Ben
that's not gonna
Riley
happen.
can't get MJ. No.
Yeah, he can. Ben
No.
Riley
Yeah,
can get anyone
they
he wants.
tried it and it failed miserably.
He has his own copycat version of MJ. Now, but of course now she's off being Hallows Eve, but which is then
What's her
MJ Janine.
Janine, yeah, that's it. God, I
Oh
can't
my
even remember
God!
her
Come
name.
on, you Ben Riley, Mark. Do you not know
Yeah.
Janine?
I try to ignore most things Marvel these days.
His own redhead
Yeah.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then you get but now she's Hallows Eve,
Mhm.
Janine Godby.
That's
and
it.
then she's Hallows Eve, and then of course they copycatted. Oh, worked for Janine to become a villain, so that means we gotta make MJ a hero now. And
Oh
made
my
her
God!
stupid
Don't get me
freaking
started.
jacket.
Don't get me
Right?
started.
Right?
I hate that. I hate it so much. And
Remember a
if
time?
they're
You guys
going to
remember-
make her a superhero, at least make her a cool one.
Remember a time where supporting characters were just supporting characters?
Yeah.
MJ's always been more. Here's my thing. This entire volume, with maybe the slightest exception of the Tombstone story,
Yeah.
has been an utter train wreck of a
Yeah.
fucking volume.
Yeah.
It could
100%.
be worse than the Nick Spencer run.
Wow.
Yeah, I think it is worse than the Nick Spencer run. The only two things that I've liked in the recent run is that one issue where it was just nothing but him and Tombstone fighting. I thought that was cool. And I liked, but thought it still could have been better when Spider-Man went evil. I hated the whole taking the Green Goblin.
Oh God, no!
I hated that. I hated it, but I loved seeing Spider-Man with it because
I didn't like
Spider-Man.
any of that shit. The Green Goblin, Gold Goblin shit, and any of that crazy
Yeah.
stuff. But the Tombstone, the turf war stuff with Tombstone stuff, I did enjoy some of that stuff with like Spider-Man manipulating certain events and making criminals fight each other on certain things, and then I just like seeing Tombstone get a little bit of attention in the main title. Being a born out of the web of Spider-Man, where most anybody is forgotten.
You know, I don't understand. In the old days, Tombstone, they used to do the lettering like he'd always whisper.
Mhm.
It was with the lines. He would always whisper throughout all the years, and then all of a sudden they just got rid of that, and he just talks normally. It was part of his creep factor that you just assume he talks this all the time.
Anyways, that was like the only spot in the story where I actually started really kind of enjoying. I was like, oh, hey, this is kind of cool. But that's the benchmark for enjoying, I guess, Spider-Man these days is go, I guess that's not bad.
Have you,
Aside from that, the rest of the volume, yeah, absolute drivel. Total disappointment from the time
have you read
traveling
Eight
shit
Deaths?
to Paul to fucking ugh, bringing
Oh, I
back
wish Paul would die.
Black
wish
Cat
Paul would
back
die.
as an interest for a moment, and oh, I still love MJ, but as a sister bullshit, and
Oh my god,
I mean,
fucking just
come on,
now all of a sudden Black
Plain
Cat's got a
stupid.
girlfriend.
why not?
You read the 8 Deaths of Spider-Man?
No, I can't even read it. I'm done. I'm just done.
It's
I'm picking
it's
up
so
the issues to complete the run, and I'm not even opening them and caring to take a look.
You know what pisses me off about the 8 Deaths? This isn't spoiling anything. It's in the first issue. But Doomsday gets Spider-Man to be his champion of Earth, blah, blah, blah.
Dr.
And he
Doom.
turns around. Sorry, Dr. Doom, yeah. And he turns around and, like, when they're giving the whole backstory, they're like, Doctor Strange would go do this test like every few years, but I'm too busy with other things. Therefore, I choose you, Spider-Man. And I'm reading it and I'm going, that is not Dr. Doom. Are you telling me Dr. Doom's ego wouldn't sit there and say to himself, I'm going to do what Doctor Strange used to do, but I'm going to do it even better? No, I'm too busy and I'm going to get Spider-Man to do it? Come on.
I'm above the. I can sort of see I'm above this shit, but then he'd get a Doombot or something to do it. why trust? Trusting somebody else to do it definitely is. Yeah,
It just seems weird to me.
it's convenient story plot, and I'm not. I have not been. I started to read the first issue, and I was just like, the storyline. I was like, I'm done with this shit. So we'll see.
Shit.
Once again, a new reboot's coming around, and all we can do is hope that the next volume is abandons some horrible shit, and somehow maybe time jumps. Oh, sorry, all that last volume that was make believe, or maybe the death of Spider-Man, whatever, 8 Deaths of Spider-Man resets some cosmic something or other and erases that volume, and we go back to fucking nope. Paul doesn't exist. MJ's not a fucking.
What are you talking about? Paul's gonna be the new Venom.
He's not.
Fuck off. No, it's not. It's Luke Cage.
It's not Luke Cage.
Who is it then?
It's just
Paul!
revealed.
Not Paul.
Oh, I thought they just revealed it in this last issue.
It's
They've
the next
done it-
episode.
Oh,
Next
this one
issue.
was they revealed Sleeper.
Yeah, they revealed Rick Jones is out because he's Sleeper. So they already outed Luke. They already outed Rick Jones. So it's Paul and it's Robbie.
Oh, so you haven't read issue 1 because I read it on Marvel Unlimited. So
Well, I pretty much know. I pretty much know this stuff already, but whatever.
So you're serious? It's going to be Paul?
That Paul might be a serious candidate.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm going to hate that.
I missed the part where somehow in this, maybe I didn't read the story, I missed it all, when first of all Venom is no longer the Brock kid, and that the Brock kid was living with MJ and Paul.
I don't know about the Brock kid living with MJ and Paul, but when Venom left both of them, it was at the end of Venom War.
Oh, see, that's my problem. I didn't read Venom War. Okay.
Yeah,
Which would be nice if you have a series where Venom is a villain like he was before.
Well, they did. They David Michelinie did the recent flashback series. They did a new Separation Anxiety. They did a new Lethal Protector. I think there was 2 or 3 miniseries. But yeah, I get what you mean though.
Just leave it alone, man. Just go back to this. What works?
Put Venom back on Brock and leave it alone. I don't need.
Yeah, like why you got to turn him into Carnage? That is stupid to me.
Yeah.
What is also annoying about the end of Venom War is for the last year or whatever since Dylan has had Venom, as a fan you've been wondering how are they going to get past this, because obviously Eddie Brock needs to have the suit again, but the son has it. So who's going to end up having it after, when it's all said and done? And
Kill the kid.
In the last issue, Venom, the symbiote himself, finds a way to go on both of them, and they both become Venom. And you're like, okay, fair enough. That's how they're going to do it. But then all of a sudden, in the same issue, now none of them have it.
Kill them both.
I don't know why it left or whatever, because I didn't read any of that shit. So I guess I'll have to look it up. But at the end of the day, I'm like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden, the Brock Dylan's been living with MJ and Paul, and so, what the fuck?
Yeah, see, I didn't know about that. Where's that happened?
I think it's been in the Venom book.
In the new one, all new Venom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's why I don't know. Because like I said, I've only read the first issue, which is why I still think it's Luke Cage.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry, it's not.
I don't.
It's Daredevil.
It's interesting to let it linger like this, but hey,
it's J. Jonah Jameson.
I swear, if it turns out to be Paul,
imagine if it was J.
I
Jonah
hope that
Jameson.
like almost immediately after then it dies.
Yeah.
Turn him in J. Jonah Jameson. We turn, whoa, you saw that ghost that just passed by? Oh, that's Mark.
I've never wanted a character to die more than Paul.
Right? Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right, MJ's fling.
Yes.
Yeah, I fucking hate him, mate.
I don't know anybody who likes that character.
You stole MJ. Fucking stay in your fucking dimension and just stay there with your fake kids.
And there's just always been something like going on with him, like in his story arcs. Always something you're like, oh, there's something wrong, something off with this guy. There's something wrong.
No, pay your bills, and go to your dimension.
Go to your dimension.
Well, there we go. So we've covered that. Yeah, good morning, fam, says Dale of Suspense. Yes, welcome, Dale. Wellbore. Hello. All right. Well, and what else is big out there to talk about there? We talked about Daredevil. We talked about Reacher. We've talked about Spider-Man. We talked about Venom. We talked about lots of comics, Mark. So
a lot of new stuff, Rob, is getting closer, and the Kickstarter's launching. I'd be curious to hear people's take on this.
Steak runs cold.
Yes, I knew you were going to go the Stanley
Which
stuff.
one? Oh, the Stan. I just got told about that today.
It doesn't look good.
Yeah, it didn't look. I mean, I don't know.
You're saying the stuff that was done to Stan didn't look good, or are you saying that the film itself doesn't look good?
So everyone knows about the elder abuse that Stan Lee was going through towards the latter half of his life, and this filmmaker, who I think I've met before, I met him in New York Comic Con. So I'm actually met him, but for other reasons. He filmed all this. And the question that everybody's asking is like, if you filmed this, how come you yourself haven't done anything about it until now? In other words, why didn't you report this? Why are you deciding to record this as opposed to report this?
You only have a half day because we have a teacher.
And that's and that's what it is. And I think he's requesting $300,000 for it,
for the Kickstarter.
For the Kickstarter for a film that still needs work.
The film isn't on Kickstarter. Film's done.
Well, he has a Kickstarter for it.
Yeah.
Not to get a copy of the movie. Go look at the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I am right now.
The movie isn't an option. He didn't want to do a.
It's in dollary dues. It's 476,000.
He didn't want to put the film on Kickstarter in case Netflix or someone wants to come along and buy it.
So it's only 20% funded right now.
Yeah.
Look at the comments. 80% of them are redacted and held for review.
There's a Comic Tom variant.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you're right, Mark. Comments under review for Violate. Oh, look at them all. What the hell?
Interesting project.
It's not going to get backed at this point.
The movie's happening regardless. This
The
is
movie's
just
going to happen, yeah.
recuperate
Wow.
funds.
All of these comments.
Wow.
God, I
It's
wish I saw
very,
this.
very interesting. I see you at 12:10, buddy.
Glad you don't love
12:10. Give me a hug.
Jonathan Bolajek.
I noticed a couple of retailers opted in to do exclusive covers. They're $50 get you the disgusting book where they compiled sad photos of Stan. It looks like can make a book
Yeah.
out of it, and a couple of online retailers
he's
opted
dead,
in
but
for
we
their
found a way
own
to make money
variant.
off of it.
Own variant meaning they have a different photo on the cover.
Look at come buy a book of come give us money about a book of people bilking this man for money.
Yeah,
It's $80 a copy.
We found a way to get more out of this stone.
yeah, that's how it feels. That's how it really feels.
$80.
You know, like Izzy brought up a point about like why are you recording instead of reporting kind of thing. Like there's going to be stories that says like I tried and to go some route for this and that, blah blah blah, but you lose me at the $150 Kickstarter tier. Are you still on it, Izzy?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
still
I
on
am.
it.
Special thanks. The special
Go-
thanks.
Go to $150.
On the rewards, right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
San Diego screening.
No, there's screenings. You're going to see a poster on the wall for one of the $150.
So we have
rewards.
$100 poster, cast and crew.
Next one.
9. I'm just looking at all of these here.
Yeah.
There's different exclusive screenings. The screenings are going for 150.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
get a ticket into one of the conventions where it'll be screened. There's a $150 poster signed by the guy who's doing all this. Like
There's a
Like
$50 captured hero foil variant.
Yeah.
$500.
He's selling his signature. Like he's not a all he's done is made this movie, right?
Yeah.
And there's like random stuff here, like an original Wolverine cover by Kevin Eastman.
You can spend $10,000 and get special thanks in the recreations made possible in part by.
No, it's $125 for a signed limited edition photo, personally signed by the guy who's making it.
But some of these items don't even make sense. Like an original Bruce Timm sketch for $4,000.
It's like a yard sale. It's like they're throwing a yard sale in front of the house of this film.
Yeah, you could get the
What I
metal
don't understand-
variant.
What I don't understand is that usually with the Kickstarters, you get your name as in the thanks anyway. But you don't usually pay extra for that, at least the ones that I've bought. And it's $50 American for the comics, but then it's $100 to get your name in it. So $50 extra.
Does the estate of, so to John's point, does the estate of Stan Lee support this
That's
film?
a good question.
I haven't heard anything about the estate, but then again, what I've heard is that the estate's not that good either.
Yeah, they're part of the problem.
Yeah. So I doubt if they would approve.
If they're part of the problem, they'd approve if they get a piece, probably.
There is a Comic Tom variant of the book.
Yeah, that's what I said before.
And the whole thing
well-
just feels. Trinity Comics has a different picture cover. One Stop Comics, Captured Collectibles,
Mutant City. There's a lot of retailers involved in some way.
Money's money. how they
These are
say.
like what is it? Fame covers or something like that.
It's called Captured Heroes. It looks like it's just a compilation of photos.
For a photo book.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Which you can get in hardcover as well.
Yeah. Based off of this information, it has the backer. It has 332 backers. 61,000 has been made. It's first 27. It has 27 days to go. It's not gonna hit its goal.
Yeah, that's the book right there.
Yeah.
Postcards, if you want postcards, not even postcards, just postcard size photos. And then just a slew of these books are just different cover photos.
1 sec.
And like Bo pointed out, extra $50, put your name in the back page.
You see, to MJ Comics, I think that's where money like this should go to. However, I think exploiting the story after it's been all said and done, I think that's the problem here. That's part of the problem. The problem is you're exploiting
The whole thing is a
something
problem.
the whole thing's a problem. So exploiting it, you're like you said, Mark, you're part of the problem by doing that.
The guy, like even with the best intentions, I'm gonna grant him. I'm gonna grant the most noblest of intentions. This is, you're trying to captivate off of a known story. This isn't new information. It's just look at how sad what you know is. Like this is known information. And to T-Dub's point, like, and that's like I'm trying to go out looking into this. I'm trying to go in as unbiased as possible because I don't know this guy. I wasn't there. I feel the same way that Taylor is pointing out, that the guy who's putting it out there seems like he was part of the exploitation. But I've been listening to some stuff and looking into some stuff and hearing how he was going through books with Stan and Stan's lawyer and trying to figure stuff out. So I don't know, like I don't know if he intended to be part of the problem or how much he was or wasn't. But again, even with the best intentions, you have online retailers. Are they just donating the printing costs and the shipping? Are they donating everything for these exclusives they're doing for this? Are they profiting off of it separately?
I only found out about this because a guy messaged me saying he knows someone that's doing a cover or two for it, and he asked them to be on Aussieverse, and I'm like, yeah, why not? And now I'm heavily
what's got me JSS is when I started looking into it, I started seeing things like actual people that I respect have participated in the making of this film. There, you'll see comic creators that have come out and did interviews for it. If you go look at the rewards, you see that like Mark Textera is doing artwork. If you pledge, you can. There's a certain pledge tier where you can get a sketch from Mark Textera. You can get a meet and greet with Roy Thomas. Mark Waid is going to be in the film. Rob Liefeld jumped into Rob Liefeld. I don't give two shits what anyone thinks. Rob Liefeld is a modern day like Todd McFarlane. He's still got that mindset. He's the bad boy of comics, but he's still a diehard for creators' rights. You know, he's like Neil Adams calling people out, like walking into the shop saying, "Where's Superman?" But if these people are participating in it, there's a level that they want this information to be seen by more people and to see what this industry can do to people.
Keep in mind, Mark, just because they were interviewed That doesn't mean they're supporting the project. They
Yeah,
were
that's what I said.
interviewed.
They want people to have this information. That doesn't mean they know how the financial rigmarole of all this goes. But when you have someone like Rob Liefeld, like that means he had a belief in this getting out. So well, I really I want to see what Rob has to say. Like it'd be cool if he was able to address any concerns or something. If he does the live stream in the next week or so, it'd be awesome because there'll be a lot of people that would be able to ask him some questions. And that I know a lot of times his live streams, he tries to keep them on point of business of what they're doing them for, but because he'll call somebody out in a heartbeat, you know. It just seems so sketchy, the whole thing. $125, get this poster signed by this guy.
Yeah,
Rob, where do you land with this whole thing? Like now we have more information, it's kind of getting tough.
I haven't been paying attention to it, and to be honest, I've been working while you guys have been talking about this.
All right, well, I'll catch you up. Someone has compiled all this footage of their time with Stan Lee in the latter years of his life, documenting and just a lot of footage. He's like pulled out the footage that he has compiled where it shows what is perceived as elderly abuse, and he's packaged it into a film, and now he's finding ways to market the film, sell things off the film, get online retailers to make variants of picture book, so they're calling comics. He's got a Kickstarter out with a $300,000 goal, and purchasing the film is not even an option with it because he still wants the ability to sell it to Netflix or Disney or whoever might come along and want to buy the film. It's just
the fact that once you deviate from just the standard, like here's a documentary of compiled footage of stuff, and when you're doing a documentary type thing, that's one thing. But with all this other weird stuff, it just now feels like you're trying to make money off of this.
That's a good point. Like let's take Stan Lee out of it. Let it be a documentary about anything else in the world. And it makes it look like the sketchiest thing ever. If this was a documentary about planted trees and processing trees without losing tree growth in your area, why would you be selling all this other shit to go along with that?
Yeah.
Buy this photo of trees signed by the director.
Yeah. So now all of a sudden you get into this whole situation where it's like, what is all this other stuff? And then you're doing this like, okay, here's the guy. We're saying that, here's this documentary about this stuff, and the late years lives where people might have been maybe people who were taking advantage of him. And by the way, here, let us show you different ways we're going to now take advantage of his name by trying to sell more shit in his name for us.
Yeah. And it's that the claim is that the $300,000 goal is to recuperate the money, but you're not printing any physical copies of this movie. You're
trying to get it licensed.
Any physical copies. What are you recouping? This is like footage that you just compiled over time of being in places,
and there's other stuff that goes.
Well, I was about to say, like, you didn't go out and plan shoots. You're not paying locations, so there's going to be some creator interviews, like you know how documentaries are. I'm guarantee you, Rob didn't charge him any money. Roy didn't charge him any money. I guarantee you, these people didn't charge this guy money to talk on this subject. So all you're looking at is just the time of piecing the movie together.
Yeah, the editing process, the post-production, not so much production, right?
Yeah.
Unless the only reason why I could justify it, and I'm not saying I am, is if you decide to do reenactments. Like you want to do like this is how it happened, where like just so you get some paid actors to reenact certain things that happen. But that's not the intention of this documentary. It's not to show a reenactment. It's not even there to say, hey, this is why we want to stop this for the future. It's just there to say, hey, this is what Stan's life was like before he died. And now let's make some more money off of it, like we were making money the first time around.
Dale's got a good point. I think they're relying on people to get emotional about the film and then open their wallets. I would like to know where the money gain goes after they rake it all in. Yeah, I'm going to try to figure that out today, what they're claiming, at least.
Yeah, like editing fees are expensive. That like to what DJ's point, they that does cost money, but it's not $300,000 worth. We're talking about maybe 50K, even 75K.
If the notion is that you want to get this, you've got the stuff you're putting together, you want to recoup your costs, and you want to make a little bit. You would think that this would be potentially with all the various different streaming services that exist, that do, especially between Netflix and Amazon, who do a lot of documentaries between the two of them in this type of category realm stuff, that if that's what you were doing was making a documentary, selling this to them for $500,000 is an easy sell.
I'm so with Biggie on this. Whatever happened to people just paying for their own shit and selling it? Kickstarter is getting ridiculous in his opinion for some stuff, not everything.
Well, I mean, look, there's ideas, things people want to go to, and maybe it's a spread the risk type thing, sure. But sometimes some people, you don't have the cash to do the things that you want to do, and to going and getting funding to a bank, for going to a bank and saying, hey, I'd like to draw a comic, give me a loan.
Yeah, you're gonna say pick rocks.
Exactly, right. And the big publishers are in a way that industry's gone, for example, and I'm just using comics as an example. There's obviously so many things that come on Kickstarter. Sometimes getting that venture capital is just not as easy as it's to get that way. And so if you want to go and do this, great. I'm fine with Kickstarter, but I mean, I think that there's a lot of shit that does appear on Kickstarter, though. I am agreeing with that is ridiculous, and same with GoFundMe. Yeah, it's like
we see a lot of the actual big companies using Kickstarter now for things. It's not
those ones I don't like.
Yeah, that I get, like the little guy who's got an idea and like aggressively relaxing proved something when he did the Suck It Up Old Man book. He proved that you don't have to do that. Like there is a way to create a base, like from the smallest starts. He literally had the smallest start, no marketing, no nothing at all. And if he wanted to make an issue 2 just based off the handful of people that enjoyed issue 1, he would no doubt 100% guarantee make a little bit of money on issue 2. People don't want to build anything anymore. They want to just have stuff.
Yeah, and the idea behind a Kickstarter, the way it really should be, is you have the option, whatever you have ready, set to go. The idea is to go to the next level with it. So like in a comic book, you should have the comic book ready to go, and now you're working on the next comic book. So the Kickstarter is really a lot of times what we use the Kickstarter is to get to that next level as opposed to the level that you're currently in. Now, from someone that did Kickstarter back in 2010, it wasn't easy to get that kind of money, especially with what we were doing at that time. So we ended up spending a lot of our own money, because a lot of the money that you're getting from Kickstarter, it's just to put back to what it was. And it's you don't for most people, you don't pocket that money. You use that money to continue to build whatever you're building. And
that's what it should be. But
so
my biggest thing is really more the GoFundMe shit. It's it's like, I want to take a trip to freaking New York. GoFundMe. Yeah,
go get a fucking push blower and get to work.
I'm gonna document my losing weight in under 1 year. Can you pay me?
I'm looking forward to that. I'll support that. You're bettering yourself, motivating you. But I'm only going to pay you an Oreo.
$300,000 goal.
You remember when IDW? I believe it was IDW. Correct me if I'm wrong. They kickstarted the 3 G.I. Joe, 2 G.I. Joe, however many it was. Bo might be able to help me. The big omnibus for 300 issues of G.I. Joe or whatever. And they did it with 2 different cover options. It was like the Joe cover or
the heroes and the villains. Yeah.
Now this is a company that does, publish comic books, and they decided to take this one project and put it up on Kickstarter and make people go through Kickstarter to get it, instead of just doing what traditionally is done, you print X number of copies. You create a print run and you send them out. People in the know will pre-order it like they pre-order other comics. The other people will walk into shops and the Barnes and Noble and the stores where these books sit and eventually buy copies. But they didn't want to do that. They just like, no, we're just going to make it customers just do it up front.
It's huge. You can't see it in there, but when you open it, like the Akira box set, I don't know if you guys have seen the Akira box set. You open it that way, and as you open it, there's like 4 hardcovers.
That was perfect timing. As soon as you did that, that little bit of music played right.
That was my work. That's my work. That's
that was
the ringtone for work is the bat phone. But I just hung up on it because I don't start for another 15 minutes. So
Rob, let's make a Kickstarter on the Clone Saga, a documentary
to make it go away. I'm in.
No.
We'll buy up every single Clone Saga book ever, and we'll shred them.
We got aggressively relax and said, I always assume everyone everywhere is talking about how cool I am. Very happy to click on the video this morning and see it's true. Absolutely, buddy. Absolutely.
There you go.
We had a 41-month member milestone from Digger Jim. If you see Brother John around, wish him happy birthday today. He is better of the Norsemen. # We're Legion. I didn't know it was his birthday. Happy birthday to Brother John.
Happy birthday, Brother John.
Oh, here's Durs. In tradition, with Durs, I have to read word for
7
word.
days still sick.
Morning fam. Bleh, emoji. Day 7 is still sick. I can't shake this. Have you tried?
Guys, let's start a GoFundMe for Durs to get better after.
You want to go fund me for Durs? $134 will make him heal.
He just had a long story.
We need $10,000 to buy him Robitussin, please.
Yeah, exactly.
Buy him some hot tea and a packet and some honey.
We'll give you some rewards while you're at it. He'll give you an autographed book by his cousin.
Sounds legit.
But yeah, that whole situation just seems super duper weird.
Oh, great googly moogly.
Yeah, good point. Day 7 is no longer sick; it's an illness. He's down with the sickness. Oh, nice. Well done. Wow.
Oh.
Y'all touched on Daredevil 3. Y'all, I'm assuming all y'all loved it.
We spent 30 minutes on it this morning.
Yeah. You want to do it again, but I'm assuming all y'all loved it. What?
Yeah,
Rob doesn't rank episodes individually. So what rank do you give this episode individually, Rob?
We don't rank.
No, that's what I'm asking. What would you rank it?
As opposed to individual episodes.
But I'm just asking, what would you give this individual episode since you don't do that?
I don't like to do that because
I know you don't like to do that. We've set that caveat. Now I'm asking. So we all know there's an asterisk on your ranking. We got it. What'd you rank this episode?
I would say the series as a whole, right now, is a solid 7 out of 10.
And then what would you give this episode?
I don't deviate.
All right. If we look at the series as a whole, what would you give the third act?
I haven't seen the third act yet.
I'm waiting to see when
we're still in the first act, my friend.
What would you give the third act of the first act? Because it's a 9-episode series.
It's 10 episodes, isn't it?
Okay, I thought it was 9. So what would you give the first act of this series? I was like, I'm done with this kid.
I told you, Emma.
If you go fund me $10,000, I will give you my ratings.
I've enjoyed. I really enjoyed this last episode. I'm perfectly fine with it. I enjoyed it. Yes, I'm willing to look past certain writing things from here and there, but overall, I enjoyed the heck out of it, and therefore, I would, with all of them, all the episodes thus far, I'm a solid 7 out of 10 on all of them.
I think it was Eman in the chat that pointed out like how episode 3 has such varying degrees of enjoyment. Digger Jim gives it a 4 out of 10. Alan Rue gives it an 8. Brian Wells said it was the best episode for him.
Yeah, I
Darius
really
is
liked.
still looking forward to seeing Daredevil. He's
I
You know,
really
people
liked
say
that.
things like
It
that, but,
seemed
you
like
know,
this episode really started laying some groundwork for the acceleration of where this story is going. To me, I really felt like the mechanism was starting to get going. Now, I can understand where people have want to critique certain elements here and there. We talked about some of those even earlier this morning. But at the end of the day, if I'm looking at an overarching story and understanding this is a comic book thing, you know, I think that this has been a solid story. I'm enjoying it. I don't care that whether or not people are watching it in droves or not. Fuck the viewership numbers. That doesn't bug me any. And I think the worst thing that's
you should
happening.
definitely want people to be watching something, especially if you enjoy it, because if they don't,
Oh, I do, but
it
you know,
affects your
it is
future
really
enjoyment of the show.
interesting that to me how many there's such this property probably is one of the most noticeable of all the things that Disney has done with either Star Wars or Marvel, where people are all over the scatter grid on it with where they think about it. There's a certain element that don't like it. There's certain elements that love it. There's a lot of elements that are in between it or enjoying it. And you know,
Who doesn't
whether
like it?
or not you want to say it's, well, there's certain people who just want to hate things because
Mm.
that's their passion, or whether or not and whether there's probably some truth to that for some element of it.
Mhm.
And then there's people of it who are just more critical about certain things, and certain things bug them so much they can't look past certain elements, and that's fine too. But overall, for what we're getting, I'm happy with this show.
Yeah, my I completely understand the concept of the storytelling format. When I kind of put out my thing, like I think this episode was like a 4 out of 10. People are like, oh, but Matt's a lawyer. No shit. Matt's a lawyer. Like I understand Matt's a lawyer. I get why they put the conversation with him and Tiger Dude about like I gotta put the costume on. He's planning like I see all the plot devices in it, but for whatever reason, none of it moved me or
didn't land you.
like it. I'm watching it. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with it. You know, this isn't bad. There's nothing wrong with it, but nothing about it was like cool. The whole thing with Punisher at the end, watching how many people are like, I can't believe they do that to Frank blows my mind. Like, I thought that the whole ending of the episode was predictable and obvious.
Do what to Frank?
And did you see the episode?
No, I haven't seen episode 3 yet.
Okay,
But
well,
I don't care. Tell me.
yeah, they
implied something.
The White Tiger gets off from the charges in a court case that wasn't very exciting or moving or anything. It was just kind of there, taking up all your time in the episode. Like no crap, he's not going to jail. No crap, he gets out. And as soon as he gets out, you get like this rushed ending with this montage of him putting on the costume and walking outside and walking around the sidewalk with his arms like this, like just he looks like what was that guy's name? Phoenix Jones walking around the streets, like pretending to be a real hero kind of thing. Like he's not like snooping around looking for crime. He's just walking down the street. Oh, I hear a mugger. I'm going this way. And a guy just steps out from behind a dumpster as soon as he passes by and puts one in his dome and just drops him dead. Then he goes walking and you can't see his face, but you see he's got a skull on his chest. Everyone's like, oh no, they're going to do that. How'd they do that to Punisher? I'm like, how stupid are some people, for one, because it looks ridiculously predictable to me. And I could be wrong, but they showed us these rogue police officers with the tattoo.
The next one.
And in this episode specifically, you have Matt's little investigator go to a location where on the side of the location that he walks in, the front door is right next to a big graffiti sign of the skull logo with the name of the gang added to it. It says The Triggered. So like they're probably calling themselves The Triggered. We're seeing all this stuff. And as soon as we're in the courtroom and the dude just said innocent, it cuts to like just all these officers that are sitting together in the corner. They're like, on the count of 3, look at this little sign and make a mad face. And they're all just like,
yeah. It was right there. At that
What?
point in time, at that point, in it, it's
Wait,
you
do
didn't
that
even
again.
know-
Do that
You
face
just
again.
you knew at that point that what was White Tiger was going to get killed.
Yeah, absolutely.
period.
Every police
It was just a
officer-
matter of who is going to be the one who
Yeah.
does it. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
assumed he was going to get jumped like by all of them. That's where I thought the episode was going. And for one, it probably wouldn't take more than two of them because we've already seen from the only time we saw White Tiger do anything that he sucks at fighting. He just hugs people and that weird tussle in the subway that was god awful.
It looked
Like,
like
I think
he was trying to do some sort of MMA.
It was ridiculous. When I saw that happening, I knew in my mind, I'm like, isn't this the actor playing White Tiger? Why is this guy like I didn't like associate the amulet with superpowers or anything, but I'm thinking to myself, even someone without superpowers knows different levels of self-defense and martial arts and stuff. This guy had none. He had like negative stats, like fighting and rolling around with these people. But it was weird. It was weird.
There you go.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate that the actor, like T-Dubs is pointing out, this
He was
past
attempting
December
an
passed
arm
away from
Passed
cancer.
away. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
He
thought.
died of cancer, actually.
What I thought was probably one of the things that stood out to me that I thought was probably the most realistic in my mind of everything that happened in that episode was actually when they parade, when Matt brings in his star witness which I loved the little chicanery trickery to get him into the courthouse. That's great. Okay.
A bunch of meats and cheeses.
But when he gets up there and they have him testify and he's looking out there at the crowd of just nothing but cops. And this is a guy we've been led to believe he's not been treated well by the police. The police have taken advantage of him and everything else. And he's just looking at them. To see him then fold on his story and go, that is so hyper believable. That it's like pure witness intimidation looking at a sea of nothing but cops.
Brian, to your point,
Torres, right? His name was Mark Torres.
Go testify against the cops while they're
Ricky
looking
Torres.
at you. Please do.
And Brian, I didn't say that the graffiti was on the courthouse. When Matt's investigator went to see the witness, where they had the witness,
the warehouse,
in the warehouse, the giant graffiti that was only there for the viewer to see was.
It was like that. It was like Spider-Man and Morbius, wasn't it?
It was huge.
It was there like, hey guys, look, we got a Punisher logo. Look how nice we could draw a Punisher.
I think he was attempting an arm hexagon.
So as I was telling to Rob, I very much enjoyed the show. I did catch a lot of the things. Like I talked to Rob about it earlier about some of the things. Just in a court of law, you can't do what Matt was doing, which makes him a really bad lawyer in that way. However, I enjoyed the intensity of it all. As a Puerto Rican myself, I have I'm a little biased towards White Tiger. I love White Tiger, George Perez creation. I like the character. I love the actor. I think the actor was amazing. He was a great actor.
Who? The White Tiger actor?
Yeah, the actor who played White Tiger, and the story behind
they all
it.
went to the drama film school of Disney, where we see this happen a lot in Marvel stuff.
Yeah, but I really like
stuff where they're like, "This is a serious scene,
yeah.
So make sure you pause 2 to 3 seconds between every sentence. That's how the viewers will know you're being serious.
Directing for you. That's just directing. That's not him. That's the director that does that.
Catches my attention when movies and shows do that. When that's how the viewers will know we're being serious. We're gonna pause.
But to the point of the story, they kind of told us that he wasn't gonna be Daredevil for a while already. And being that they told us that, I'm not that concerned about him turning into Daredevil. Hey, I read comic books with Daredevil. The Born Again storyline, he doesn't turn into Daredevil for a while.
But you know what they did? And I called this out in the first one. I gave a pretty high critical review of the first one, and I liked the fact, and I thought that they were going to use it to the benefit of the show, that we did a 1-year jump.
Yeah.
So we as the viewers don't have to sit through all this stuff, or we don't have to sit through as long of a wait if they don't want us to. There's already been a 1-year jump, and then by episode 3, from episode 1 start to episode 3, you're looking at like a 2-year time span.
Yeah,
At
because court
least.
case.
The
That
court
case
case,
couldn't have possibly happened
the
in a
entire
couple weeks.
campaign for Fisk, it's been at least 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
like they're, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
But you know what's funny? It's like he stopped being Daredevil. He can't seem to let go of his horn. So there's something behind the horn. Like it's kind of drawing him back. And each episode is telling us how, as much as you don't want to be this character, you are this person. That's what the story is trying to tell, is that you can't get away from being Daredevil. And the White Tiger storyline is to remind him, I can't not be White Tiger. So I'm going to go off scot-free, and that very night I'm going to go off. I'm going to be White Tiger again. You know what I mean? Even though he probably shouldn't. Right?
Yeah, that was just plot device to plant in Daredevil's head. Like, I got it.
Yeah, it's a plant in Daredevil's head, but it's also, what I like is how we're seeing that with Matt, but we're also seeing that with Fisk.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad. It's better than a lot of stuff we've seen, but I don't know. I don't think for me, it's not hitting like the Netflix level of enjoyment. That could be a lot of just time and place. You know, when the Netflix one came out, that was years ago. There was a lot less.
7.
There's a lot less, like, I don't want to say expectations, but there's a lot less experience of the MCU. You know, a lot less to compare it to. And you're also looking back at it, you know, when you're going through the Netflix stuff, it's not like ridiculously fast. It's drama heavy, which I enjoy. I'm fine with. It's just the drama stuff it's not really doing anything for me. And to Rob's point, it's building, and we'll see what kind of payoffs we get, and that'll definitely affect it in the long run. I'm of a weird minority that the Kingpin performance by D'Onofrio is so weird to me. Like, everyone praises it, and I don't understand that. I get, like, he does a good job acting, but the
stiffness,
the notes that D'Onofrio has, like, let's do it this way, and like, those are weird decisions for Kingpin to me, because he's a very inconsistently acted character. Like, the acting job itself is fine, but it's the acting choices they make for him, like the fidgeting and the weird fingers, and someone's like, oh, that's just him trying to fight back his urges. I'm like, dude, he does it in any and all scenarios. There's like not a scenario where he's not like, he's like got split personality disorder. I don't know.
I gotta go take care of a work issue. I'll try to be right back.
Make sure you wipe after.
I PM'd you a picture.
The stuff with Vanessa is just kind of goofy to me. I'm not a big fan of this, like, Lady Kingpin. I just want to be a criminal boss. I don't care that we're fine off and this and that. And
I think I will say the therapist part of it all, where there's a connection now, that's too spot on. Like, out of all the therapists, he has to go to the one therapist that's dating Matt.
Yeah, that better end up to be intentional.
Mm-hmm. She's dead.
I don't know how big of a villain, or how competent of a villain they want to make Kingpin, that he's keeping tabs on Matt, and he saw this and he chose to enroll in this therapy. Well, we know that he didn't choose to enroll in therapy. His campaign person came to him and brought him the campaign numbers on the optics of him and Vanessa, and that's why they went to therapy. So that takes that out of it. It would have been cool if that was his decision, kind of thing. Just, I don't know.
Well, he did say he wants his wife back, so he kind of makes it work.
Yeah, I'm not saying he doesn't, but the idea of it was definitely the campaign person. Mm-hmm. She came to him at the end of the episode and said the numbers are looking good, but it blah 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 on the public optics of you and Vanessa.
So you think the therapist is gonna get off?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, like, I don't care. So I'm not saying, like, I'm not answering because I don't care enough that I haven't thought into it at all yet.
Well, there's got to be something that's gonna make Matt finally go back.
Yeah. What? Well, if
And I don't think White Tiger is it.
Death of Foggy, loss of Karen, loss
But
of,
Death of Foggy left him quit. So that
Yeah.
had the opposite effect.
He's not dead.
So I think so. White Tiger is making him say, okay, that justice was served, but still justice wasn't served because he got killed.
and Alan said she was gone as soon as Fisk walked into the room. I don't know. Like, I don't see him as like a big danger like that. He's been.
I think he's actually trying to be good.
Well, not even that. He's been pretty incompetent through, like, if you like compile all of his appearances and stuff, he's not a very intimidating character to me. Like, he's a bad guy, sure, but he doesn't seem like the most capable. It seems like the real danger is if you actually work for him. Like, you're liable to get your head crushed in a car door. But other than that, like, is he really a competent villain in the MCU?
In the MCU, yeah. Well,
that's what I'm saying. If you look at his appearances, like,
they softened him over in the MCU version.
Yeah, as soon as he showed up in Hawkeye, I was like,
Hawkeye, he was,
that was terrible. It was pathetic and Echo, like super pathetic and Echo, and that's where we're at with him.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the Daredevil stuff from Netflix, like the most dangerous thing you could be is a painting on the wall. He's just staring at it, or fighting Frank. Like he's good at torturing people.
Yeah, he's good at that. Being manipulative.
Yeah.
He's good at that. So I think the turning point for Matt is going to be her death. And I think it's going to be Muse that's going to kill her. And I think Muse is that guy that wanted her signature before Luca saw her when she was doing the signing. I think that's Muse.
It is. I think what Brother John said is pretty accurate. And I've always been attracted to villains that you can feel not sympathy for, but you can understand their motivations. And I know that the Kingpin is different from the comics than the show. That is very true. But I just love this version, man, because I think you can empathize with it and go, yeah, I kind of get why he's such an asshole in the way that he is. And that's what makes it more dramatic, I think.
I'm with Sledge. Disney Kingpin should be terrifying. Even in the cartoon Spider-Verse stuff, like that big blocky Kingpin that you don't see him fight, but at the end of the first one, but they created a presence for him. Even in a cartoon, like he walked in the room and everyone got tense, like this dude's about to make somebody's life worse right now, right here, and we don't know who it's going to be yet. Like whether he's going to just send him on a mean task to do some work or just do something irrational that makes sense to him. Like, I don't know. You mean Disney's trying to make evil relatable? Say it ain't so.
They've been doing that for the last how long they've been doing that for now? 30 plus years now.
A little bit for sure.
Yeah, and not just on Marvel characters and Disney characters in general. So, like I said before, I liked the episode. It was a really good episode, and I'm a guy who loves like procedurals, so I was glued into that part.
Yeah, everyone's just coming from a mile away, and I don't.
It's very predictable. I'll give it that much.
Is anyone getting actual vibes that he's trying to be a straight and narrow? Like he's not like this. He's going to become Kingpin. He is Kingpin because the first time we see him sitting at the desk as the mayor, he's already blackmailing people with like your side chick and a kid that your family doesn't know. So there is no character growth and devolvement. There is no lane change. He's flat. The character's already flat. He's just
it's a scam.
You're just watching him pull a scam. But the viewers are in on.
The only thing we don't know is what's his real purpose. What's his agenda? What does he want?
His agenda is to go after the vigilantes and possibly have higher hopes. It's to go after the vigilantes and potentially have higher hopes of even a higher ranking political office for more power. Like
I'm with Valen. I think there is some sincerity in the character. But he can't get away from being who he is. That's the point, I think, to Kingpin, which is the same point to Matt. Like, you're trying not to be this person when you are clearly this person. The whole theme of the show is like, don't ignore who you really are.
Yeah, well, Kingpin's not ignoring who he really is my point. This isn't like, you read Superman comics, don't you, Izzy? You know how Lex Luthor, since the Jamal Campbell era 2 years ago, he decided to stop being a criminal, and no one trusts him. Yeah, Superman don't trust him, Lois don't trust him, nobody believes him, but he was legitimately trying. Like, he's still on a straight, narrow path. He hasn't done crime in a couple years now in comics. And it's been a story of conflict with him on the public perception of him, on his perception of self. How does he atone for the things he did? I am legitimately trying to, but I have to answer for all of that's being told. It's not in this Daredevil show. There is nothing going on. There are no actions. There are no words. No sentences have been uttered that suggest he's anything other than just the normal Kingpin that happened to trick people into voting for him. Mm-hmm. That's my point. Like it doesn't matter if other politicians do crimes. We know he started as a crime lord, and now he is still a crime lord in office. There's nothing different about it, is my thing. Like, none. There's been no shift, and there's no reason to wonder if is his nature going to take over. His nature's not fighting anything.
I will
he's
admit,
trying to be legit now.
No one believes him.
Yes, but legit, so he's not focused on different bosses.
Most people don't believe him, except the public, right? So, like the police commissioner, he's like, "How dare you, man?" You know, he tried to, and that's who he's trying to blackmail. Like, you're blackmailing. Like, I would have been the police commissioner. I'm like, you're trying to blackmail me, aren't you? You know that's not going to work.
It did work.
It worked on him because, you know, it's a TV show, but another character would probably said that's not going to work.
Well, it depends on what you got on him, right? If you got somebody corrupt enough to be able to blackmail.
Mm-hmm.
And in that case, that guy, it worked for that guy.
You know, he's a good liar because he definitely said that the cheesesteak sandwich in Gino's are not as good. So he's good at that. Because Gino's cheesesteaks those are good cheesesteaks.
Yeah, I get he can't kill people in front of people, Alan, but that's also not new. Like, he has anger issues, yeah, but I'm not talking about his temper. I'm talking about his actual motives. He does not have any actual motives to no longer be a criminal.
You mean like Penguin?
Yeah, Penguin never pretended to.
No, he never. Yeah,
other than a gangster. Like, yeah, his goal was to become the best gangster, and you watched him go down a journey of gangsterism.
Who is the best gangster?
The top gangster.
The best politician is the best gangster.
And that's what Oz realized at the end of season 1. He's sitting in the courtroom,
the nicer,
where real power takes place.
Going into City Hall.
Yeah, dude, they need to keep that story going.
It feels good to be a gangster.
So I try so hard not to compare these shows against other shows. They come from different angles, but you look at Penguin and the way that they told that story, not a single word was said about higher aspirations. Not a single word was said about maybe I should try to run for mayor. Oz has done all those things. You just get that scene where he's in desperate need at rock bottom. So he goes to make a play against a politician, but him just sitting in that room, you as the viewer knew all of that, what was going through his head and what everything that is now in this guy's crosshairs are, and wondering how is he going to approach it, who's going to get hurt on the way, and I bet he's going to pull it off. You know, like that's damn good writing. It's
well, and I would say that like the way they created the Penguin character gave him a lot more depth as a character to work with. So Colin Farrell had a lot of different things he could draw upon all these. I've been slighted. I'm a little fucking penguin, you know, like all of these. My mother rejected me. I want her.
Kids made fun of me and everything.
Whereas Kingpin I'm not sure if we get that much depth in terms of the past.
We
and
do.
how-
That's all they did in Echo. Unfortunately, they turned him into like a daddy issue, parent murdering. But he had this whole revelation because Echo defeated him with the power of positive memories.
You're dealing
It's
with
like
a
that?
company.
She did this, and his head
Gave
lit
him a
up. He
shocker?
started
all the
crying.
supervillains.
I'm like, this is so weird.
But you're dealing with a company that is neutered so many of their supervillains. So I don't know why people are surprised. I mean,
It's not a
look at
matter of
about
being
Marvel, right?
Trust me, I'm not.
It's about getting the right writers, though. You just got to get
that's
the
a good
right
point.
writers.
You remember they got rid of the showrunners and brought in new people that like posted out like, we got all these Daredevil comics we're going to read before we reapproach this, and I think the show might be suffering from the fact that it didn't get total restart. I was under the impression that we were so far out that we were getting like a total restart. I didn't think
I never
shooting had
watched it
started
yet, but
or anything, but they didn't. They just went in and and adjusted some stuff and things.
Well,
So-
at that point, you
Also,
can't
when
get rid of
Daredevil
everything.
was-
well, I didn't know where
When-
they were in the process.
Yeah, you
is what
could.
I'm saying.
So I heard it was like 80% of the show was reshot. So we still have.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. So
That's pretty much a whole new show after all.
remember, the show was supposed to be like, I think they
20
said like
episodes?
16 episodes
Yeah, it
or
was
something
a
like
lot.
that.
well, this
Yeah,
sounds like
what the
what they
heck?
did with the Kamala Khan show and then the Marvels movie or whatever. I know
Yeah.
that they had planned to make the Kamala thing the movie, right?
No. So Brie Larson, Captain Marvel, did so well financially, wedging it between the Avengers.
Fucking good.
No, everyone hated it. They wedged it between the Avengers finale
I
and
didn't hate it.
marketed
I love
it
Marvels.
as required viewing for in-game. So everyone went to go watch it as like an in-game setup. But
I loved it.
that was like, yeah, a handful of people do, but universally, that was like the first one that
Unity.
people were like, "What was that?" And
which one did you love?
the backlash for
I loved the first
Brie
Captain
Larson
Marvel
became a meme,
and the
so
Marvels. I
she
thought they
got
were great.
demoted. She got demoted and kicked out of her own sequel. They didn't want to make a second one of her because it was just Brie Larson. It became
Because
like internet kryptonite.
People don't like Brie.
Virgin males hated her.
No, not at all. Brie Larson became internet kryptonite, kind of like what's going on with Rachel Zegler right now. She just had a bunch of press things that have
Who is
gone like
she?
weird. She's the actress from the most recent Hunger Games. She was in Shazam 2. She's
Yeah, I
going to
got
be
nothing.
Snow White, but
Okay.
she's had like
that
a
girl.
good handful of press appearances where she has turned the entire internet against her. People that keep up with like the
Because she
tabloids
said
kind of thing.
stupid shit.
What
Yeah,
pissed
she-
me off the most with
Done it
any
to herself.
female
but-
Marvel character was when Letitia Wright, I think her name was Letitia Wright, but she was Shuri
Yeah.
and she started talking about vaccinations and shit. And I'm like, stay in your lane, Shuri. Stay in your lane, Shuri.
She's
I
very
agree with
open
you. Her body, her choice.
on her opinions. And
yeah, you can
she
be. Anybody
is-
can be.
she is definitely
if
not a
you're
lead
smart?
actress.
Not if you're
No,
a celebrity.
not Brie Larson.
To
For
your
sure.
Marvel point, they did the Marvel show. It got really high reviews, but really low viewership numbers. But people liked it. It had positive feedback for those that tuned into it. So they were trying to fumble to find a way to do something next. So they just plucked Monica Rambeau, plucked Miss Marvel, and
Well, they're all Marvels.
demoted Brie Larson, and decided to do the
It's different
movie together.
iterations of the Marvels, you know.
Yeah,
So I think
absolutely.
it's good. Pretty sure villains from fairy tales are evil. Dude, you go with the old school Grimm's fairy tales, these German-based fairy tales that got American-fied, they're scary as hell. If you did them the real way, the German
They wouldn't be kids' stories.
wouldn't be
No.
kids' story. Well,
Did y'all
they
ever
were
see
kids'
that
stories.
movie, The Brothers Grimm, with Matt Damon? And I can't remember who the other one was. It was PG-13, but it was like a
Darker
take on a
version?
darker version of like, it was because the
real
time
one?
era is kind of action adventure feeling, but it's still really fun.
Mm. Sorry, I was just reading them.
Yeah,
Mike.
Brian said it was announced as 18 episodes. Is he originally?
Yeah, what happened to Daredevil's count of episodes being so high and now they're not?
Because they didn't like what they saw,
Platform.
so they decided to cut it off to 10 episodes. I think that's a smart move. Take what you like and now make a smash up of it and reshoot it. So like the Foggy and Karen scene, that was new, but everything that came after it, I'm sure, was done already. So like the White Tiger storyline was originally supposed, from what I read, it was originally supposed to be the start of the story.
Talk which one? AR Brie? I'm a Brie Larson fan. Like I'm not on that. I don't like Brie Larson train. I really enjoy Brie Larson. I think she's
I don't have anything against Brie. She didn't do anything.
She had like one Q&A appearance that got everyone mad at her. But
she did. And if you listen to what she said, you shouldn't have. Anyone.
No, it wasn't the smartest thing to say. Know your audience, know where you're at.
She really didn't mean it that way.
She said, "I didn't make this movie because I cared about the opinions of middle-aged men. I made this movie to be someone little girls could look up to." And that was divisive.
That wasn't.
How dare you make movies like that?
Or the tone in which she said
terrible.
It. I'm not saying I disagree with the point she was making. I'm saying
that's how I interpreted it.
And that's perfectly fine. Along with the vast majority of people out there, like
of men,
dude, it isn't just men. Like the overwhelming majority of people in the demographic of MCU are men. So it's kind of a weird thing to try to separate to begin with.
I just feel like she didn't do anything wrong ever, and she shouldn't have to apologize because she's just a regular person.
Yeah, that's fair. Again, I like Brie Larson. I got literally nothing against her. I think she's a great actress. But when you're in the spotlight like that, I hear people say it all the time, like words have consequences. Well, when you say shit like that, that's the consequence. When you're talking to a predominantly male audience who's paying your fucking bills to this point.
This is the attitude that it's just like, okay,
no,
just because you paid me means I have to serve your interests, bro.
Well, you don't have to serve the interest, but don't be mad if the people who were serving your interest.
She's not mad. She wasn't mad. You interpreted it as mad.
No longer support you. It's that simple. Like you don't have to like your audience. But don't be mad if your audience gets upset.
I think she was trying to say her audience was supposed to be little girls. It's not grown-ass men.
Well, that's not her audience. That's a great sentiment.
Well, if the audience is little girls, that's a problem because isn't the movie PG-13?
Well, no, just putting this out there, like that's one of the things that I think has harmed the MCU. The audience is not little girls. So if you're playing to little girls, you're one, lying, or you're two, delusional. You're not a little girl, Caroline. I don't know any little girls that are running around rewatching the Marvels.
But you know what I was? I was a little girl. And you know I still have? My inner child. And you know what speaks to me? That content.
Yeah. No. Like there's like when here's a great example.
I think people just hate the idea of women having a voice.
That's crazy. When Moana 2 came out,
gaslight me. It is not crazy to say that.
When Moana 2 came out, it did gangbusters. Moana 2 is going. Moana as a character, my favorite modern Disney movie.
What is she, Captain Marvel now?
When Moana came out, the target audience for Moana is little girls. Does that mean little boys don't watch it or can't enjoy it? No, they will. They do. They did. It did amazing.
Same for Captain
But they know that the target audience is little girls. When Marvel movies come out, the target audience is male. That's your demographic. They have stats to show this. Does that mean women can't enjoy it? Little girls aren't allowed to watch? No, they will. But that's not what you bet on. That's not where you financially make decisions based off of it. That's crazy. It's a great sentiment, but you don't make a $120, $200 million movie in a male-dominated market saying we're doing this for the ladies and think that that's a good idea. It's not, and you didn't. You're just saying that. Not you, Caroline, but them.
Oh, I know. You're not talking about me.
That was never their goal to aim for that.
Yeah,
someone's got to do it well, boy. We got about 15-20 minutes and we'll take him to get his teeth cleaned. You want to go throw some clothes on that you want to wear?
What's up, JBL?
AR said the lack of sales for
Here
the
we
Marvel
go.
is a great example of Brie on strike. What?
The lack of sales of Marvels was
What?
multiple reasons, not just Brie.
Brie was on strike. That's why everything was tanking, whether she was in it or not.
That's why COVID.
Okay, here we
exists.
go. All right. So Brie
G.I.
Larson
Jane.
No, I love Brie
shut
Larson.
up. Brie Larson disclosed how of the highest grossing movies in 2017, less than a quarter of the critics were white men, and then less of 10% of were underrepresented men, and only 2.5% were women of color. Recognizing that reviews change lives and impact the films that are considered for award season, Larson called for more inclusive representation in the industry. Am I saying I hate white dudes? No, I am not. I don't want to hear what a white man has to say about A Wrinkle in Time. I want to hear what a woman in color, a biracial a woman has to say about the film. I want to hear what teenagers think about the film. And then she said, if you make a movie that is a love letter to women of color, there's a chance that a woman of color does not have access to review and critique your film. And then she said,
They don't have the internet.
don't say the talent's not there, because it is.
They don't have the internet because, from what I understand, everyone in America has access to the internet. If you're in a proximity to a place like, I don't know, McDonald's.
I find I'm not a minority. You're American. Well, you're both, and there's strength and diversity.
But his
Because-
name
I
is
like
also
that.
Darth
I like
Lopez.
see that. I like that ad on there.
You know, his name is also Darth Lopez, so that could say something.
Mhm.
Yeah, the no act reviews change lives, but at the same time, everyone judges for themselves. Don't have access to make reviews. Literally anyone with the internet has access to make reviews on the
I know that's the problem. Most white dudes do it. They made
anyone with
Rotten Tomatoes terrible.
internet has the ability. All minorities, all the
Let's
stats
just
you went
agree to
through,
disagree.
and
I just
well, we
agree.
don't have to agree to disagree because facts are facts. But everyone and anyone can
know.
go to
I know they
RottenTomato.com
are.
and leave a review, which is the number one thing. So
Facts are facts. You're right. I just
I
think
mean,
that we're
I
misinterpreting the
understand
data.
her. I understand her sentiment, but it's not necessarily accurate. There's a little bit of virtue signaling in there, and that was also like what year was that? 2017, you said. So
I
that
think
was
there
8
might be a
years
little virtue signaling here.
Yeah, I agree. Disney's target audience is families on vacation, so it's in their interest to make art that serves more focused audience when they have so many productions. That is, they do hit a lot of holiday weekends. Moana 2 was a holiday weekend. Cap was a holiday weekend.
Can I show you what I found from my buddy?
Disney's
Yeah.
Disney's
Hold on,
target
let me
audience
bigger.
is
Hold on.
families that are gonna go to Disney World.
Oh,
Like-
that's dope.
9698 copy of the very first Treehouse of Horror.
Who published that? I don't even recognize that.
Bongo.
Bongo, bro.
Oh, I didn't know.
You remember Bongo Comics?
They
I like how
specifically
everyone
were
just said
created,
that.
I think.
Is Bongo Comics still around?
No.
Yeah, I think so. Yes, I think unless they
I don't
stopped for
think
doing.
Let me see.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm
so.
curious now. Bongo Comics.
American and proud. Yeah, I mean, dude,
Bongo.
I don't think any of us care about your race or your handles. I don't.
Oh, they shut down in 2018.
There you go.
2018. Okay, because that's when the end of the Bongos comic was coming.
Yeah. So the last issue was
Inja
Simpsons
Binja.
245.
Speaking of The Simpsons,
Go ahead, Justin.
What? Yo, we got to zoom that Mark left. We can't
He
zoom
left
him.
because he was pissed, probably.
Yo, what are you doing with so much?
He found them. Warehouse find or something.
You got the whole...
some guy on Facebook was like, "I've got 65 of these," and
And
I'm
you're
like, "Hey,
Where do I show up?
where?"
Um,
65 of
can
these.
you put that with the package that you're going to send me? Can you put one of them?
Sure.
Look what I
One
got
of
in-
each? But by the
all
way,
of it.
send me your information so I could send it to you.
Send what?
The information that I need to send you.
It's like the
Can I have
breakfast
my
store.
book, Izzy?
Oh, so you can send me money.
Yeah, so I could send you money.
Got it.
There you go. Strange.
Sorry, I'm
Oh,
gonna
you got the
get-
Doom Academy books?
I did. Well, I got I got this one because it's Breakfast Club.
That's a cool cover, though.
I know it is. I'm a very cool person.
My biggest problem with Daredevil's White
tell
Tiger is that
myself in
he
the
did
morning.
not have a switchblade. What's wrong with that? Puerto Rican superhero without a switchblade.
A Puerto Rican superhero without a chancla.
You know what I'm saying? He was supposed to be rocking the chancletas
Mm.
with a guayabera shirt. He needs a guayabera shirt.
What kind of coffee is he going to drink?
Café Bustero. What else? or pilong. I don't know if you know about pilong.
I don't know. There's one
You
that
gotta know
starts with
pilong. That's like their Pepsi. Where
Oh,
Café
okay.
Bustero's their Coke belongs to Pepsi. So you gotta be one or the other.
there's a coffee brand that they have in Puerto Rico, and it starts with a B, and I can't remember what it.
Starts with a B.
Mhm.
Coca-Cola.
All I could tell you is Café Bustero and pilong. Pilong starts with a P.
This is a brand.
Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Pepsi. And it's not Paul Logan either. It's not, what's it? No, the other Logan. What's the other
Bears
Logan's name?
Brothers.
What's the Logan's name? What's that moron's name? Anyway, who cares?
Tyson Logan.
I'm trying to look. I can't find it. Pudge. Oh, whatever.
Tucola. Oh yeah, Cuban has Tucola.
If they have
Logan's-
comics, I don't care what color the van is or how many windows it has. Okay, that's fair. You don't judge.
The van should be white. It should always be white.
That's it. Cafe Buste.
That's what not Buste. That's Bustero. It's the same brand.
Okay, whatever, bruh.
Madam, we
I didn't
can't let you
understand
in
it with your
because
like fucking good accent and
the
shit.
bosses have gone.
It's Bustero. It's not Buste. Let me see. No, it's Bustero. I'll show you. I can't show you because Mark's not here.
He
It's
is
Bustero.
something. He just left. He just
Yeah, and Madam's backstage as well.
kept Bustello. Here we go. That's it. It's Bustello.
Yeah, I know it's Café Bustero. I've been saying it from the beginning.
Bro, I am so ignorant. I just speak the English and I'm
Yeah,
dumb
say
and I
that with
can't
a
hear
bit of
the
bass in your voice.
You got the metal canister. It's yellow with
Yes,
red.
Yes.
And you got the nice
Yeah.
lady holding the coffee like this. That's kind of like their
Madam's
icon.
in timeout.
Yeah, but there's also Pilong.
No, so what had happened, madam? The reason why Mark is gone is because he had to take a break. Because he was lecturing me about how Captain Marvel was dumb. And I don't know. I'm just kidding. Well, I mean, I'm not really kidding about that, but Mark and I, we agree to disagree.
So now so Lady F, since you're in the main stage here, what you got for us? What are you gonna show us?
I'll show you some phantoms. I'll show you some of phantoms.
We get some more Vinegar Puss comics.
No Vinegar Puss for you lot. You don't get the good. Y'all don't get the good. Thank you, Darth Lope. She is not dumb. She's bad. She's badass. This is Harvey
Ooh.
Hits Magazine presents The Phantom. The ghost walks in Uranium Valley. So I think that's all.
He just went kaiju on them.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe this is probably, talking about where he's gone to the west, where the fucking Los Alamos, whatever the fucking test site was. I don't know. Phantom.
Oh, Goki Phantom.
Lee Falk.
Oh, I like that cover.
Yeah. He's going for the crown. He's playing Fortnite, and he just killed somebody, and their crown is going down the snow hill, and he's like, "Give me that crown, bitch." But it was one of the first MCU that was more subpar area. I felt it was more of those that fed into a bigger plot, but that's where we got. No.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Oh, Madam's on.
How did
So
Madam
Mark
get in?
managed to get Madam in
Mark's
without even
probably
being on screen.
taking
I
a
gotta
poop.
give it.
I'm like just sitting here like watching my
Mark's taking a deuce from the bathroom watching, but he's like letting people in. The Marvels was like more of a family kind of movie, but it made me laugh, dude, so much.
That's a great cover.
Nice cover, girl.
Don Newton.
That is beautiful.
Don Newton, Charlton Phantom.
So how much you pay for everything? Like $3?
Yeah, this one I think because it's in nice shape, I paid like $9.99 for it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Look how nice that is, though.
Yeah, on issue 74. Love it.
The
Boom.
flag looks great.
And then there's this Phantom. And
Ooh.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice
I love
pasty background.
Lee Falk.
yeah, Lee Falk
I
does
just
these
found-
covers.
That's Rob's dad right there.
This guy or this guy?
Guys,
No, I was talking about the guy with the mustache.
yes.
What are you doing, Rob?
A relation somehow.
I'll show you a picture of my dad. That's my dad. Caroline, that's in here.
Yeah, me too.
I just found a framed certificate in my dad's garage of 1986, the Phantom Club. He was a member.
Your dad was a badass. Your dad could have been thinking about the Phantom while he was making you. Just think about that, man.
All
You're like,
new.
"Oh!" Just kidding. Look, there's Kingpin. And then this is a much less superior Phantom cover, but
Poor doggy.
I know.
That poor lady.
Come here.
He's like,
That dog's interested in something.
yeah. So those are my Phantom books. Let's see. Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, I can show you some Vinegar Puss, bro. Let me grab Vinegar
What?
Puss real quick.
That does not sound like something you should be showing us.
All right. You want to see it on live TV? Real.
I just want to know if she came out in other comics.
Sweetheart.
There it is.
Sweetheart.
Who's
So,
controlling this?
Who's
part
controlling?
is he's probably doo-dooing from the in like just okay. Inside Mr. Burris, Tammy James and I have to discuss the behavior of young ladies at the social affair. And she goes, now you go on, honey. I'll try and make Mrs. Rankin understand how it is between a boy and a girl. And he's like, and then it goes. What does
It
it
gets
say?
better.
Yes.
Crotch shot.
I was an authority on everything but love and the art of kissing. No wonder they called me Vinegar Puss.
Now,
I got
Oh
it
my
all
God.
day. You want some Vinegar Puss? I'm throwing it around all day. Salt and Vinegar Puss.
I need that cover. That's
Yes.
So great, isn't it? This
That is
one, this
amazing.
Chili number 3, is Stan Lee appears in it. So
What?
yeah, Stan Lee jumps in here, and the artist. What's the artist name? It's Stan something. Stan G. I
Okay.
can't. But anyways, they both pop out of. They go. Chili and her friend. They go to someplace and they find Stan Lee, and then the artist, and they teach him how to make a comic. Yeah, it's wild. Tired of getting my water to watch Miss Mom, and she declined. Well, oh, you said you tried. Sorry. This is it. Here we go. First runs into. They look different here, but those are the two Stans.
Is that from Josie and the Pussycats? Because
Chili, yeah, she was a shoot off from that spinoff. I'm pretty sure. And then, they go into showing how they do it. Talks her through it. Explains the process. But it's cool. Can we just have Caroline do Mystery Vinegar Puss Theater? I'll be reading a story, and then randomly Vinegar Puss comes in to attack. Maybe she needs to be a villain. Can we revive or create a comic line called Vinegar Puss Returns? Here's some.
Teen Confessions.
Yeah.
Read it.
What does it say? Nora is as fit as a fiddle for dancing, for swimming, for tennis, for cycling, but unfit for love.
That was
Bitch.
perfect.
What a bitch. Teenage love. What's some teenage love? Surf's up. Don't miss the whitewater kisses. Come on, chick. I'll take you to where the big ones come in. I bet you will. And then he says, "Flake off, Mo. She's surfing with me." About to hit it.
Okay, this has got to be its own show.
13 going on 18. Oh my God, Jeffrey Epstein. Sorry. Val sure learns fast. Her first time on skis, and she bumps into that gorgeous boy.
Sounds intentional.
Oh, it was. She's named
Oh,
it.
it was. Oh, yeah.
She wanted it. He's in the crosshairs, bro. She's like, I got my prey.
She could slice his head off.
Oh, here's Mark's two favorite characters. Carol Danvers and Colin Khan. He really loves this guy. You do not know all the shit I said. You probably do, but it's all right. I was talking trash on here. I like
If you
this.
didn't, I wouldn't love you.
Doctor Strange Vice Guard.
Oh, wow. That's the new crane. Yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. I really like the colors he uses because he doesn't usually like use this kind of. I don't know.
It looks like pencil work too.
A serious question: is Doctor Strange wearing Santa Claus's jacket?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's in Asgard. It's a little cold out there, you know.
It gets
Yeah.
chilly up there with the gods, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear the Diddy news about dropping an album and revealing secrets? No, I need to look that up. But you know what I did watch? Okay, I don't even know who these people are, but they're kids. So there's Bad Baby. There's the Cash Me Outside. How about that? I know her. She's a rapper now. And then the Blink 182 guy, Travis Barker, had yeeted out a kid with a Playgirl playmate and a Playboy playmate. And her name's Alabama.
Dog's head without even touching him a bit.
Oh wow! grab Abe's leash.
It's good job. Good work. And I'm gonna post this. There's these diss tracks going back and forth between these teeny boppers. And I just saw one yesterday and it cracked me the fuck up. But then I was just like, oh God, I don't want her to be mad at me or she'll be mean to me.
Get completely roasted by a 12-year-old.
Dude, these girls are mean.
They know the internet better than us, that's for sure.
Oh no, I know. Okay. I'm posting it. I don't know if it can post. Check out. Cash Me Out, dude. This Bad Baby one, Mike. Catch out that diss track. Check out that diss track because it's like, oh my God, you are gnarly. I do not want you to be mean to me. I picked up a nice copy of this for me. Talking about a Bad Baby. Emma Frost.
First cover of Emma, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she appears for the first time with our girl Kitty in 129, but that's the first cover appearance. Then we got some Nazi punching for good measure. You know, give a good Nazi. Give a good Nazi a punch.
Up to issue 50 of X-Men.
Oh, you're at what? Issue 50? What about issue 50?
I'm up to issue 50. I've been reading it from the number 1.
Oh, it's not that good. Wait until you get into 94.
Oh, I know, but I wanted to read it all. So
No, I know. Principle of the matter.
Are you skipping 67 through 93?
Because they're reprints. You should.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm reading them in omnibus and collected editions. So
You got to read them. You have to read them. You have to read them again. Yes, you do. That's you skip reading. You can't skip reading.
Hey, Rob's backstage. I'm about to run the dog around the corner to the vet for his
right,
first old man teeth cleaning and checkup.
All right.
His breath smells like Fremunda, so we got to
Your dog or your dad?
But I'm leaving in like 10 minutes.
push it and slide up. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. I'll be doing the same.
Same.
Everyone will, because Rob will.
You know,
But they
I'm
should-
not. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna
JB
hang
will
out
be here.
backstage by myself.
Yeah, he's gonna
Actually,
stay.
I could
He's
leave
just-
it running, but you guys would have, if you guys get into a weird
Yeah.
shape pattern, you'd be stuck.
Uh-oh.
Well, we just talked about vinegar puss, so I don't think anything's beaten that.
That's not weird in this group.
Yeah, vinegar puss is for the people. Vinegar puss for the people.
That's a term of endearment right there.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
Like if you've never been called a vinegar puss, have you even really lived? Like
I guess I
Apparently
haven't
not.
lived.
Now I'm.
Apparently
Oh
not.
man, I'm questioning my life now.
well, you need to start behaving in the way a vinegar puss would. WWVPD.
I was just gonna do the same thing.
Aren't we terrible people? If you don't get that, it's because you're not you haven't been traumatized by Christianity. All right. AR has been at Diddy parties. AR, you need to show the tapes.
Yeah, really. Let's give us a taste of that.
Basically, what he's doing the whole time is he's explaining.
He's the one recording it. What are you talking about?
He's he's the one talking in the background that nobody's listening to about Star Wars, and everybody's just sucking and fucking. And he's like, but actually, the guild did this, and that's how they were able to, you know, and just nobody's listening. He's like, you guys are on drugs, aren't you? And he's like, ah. And then he looks down and starts lettering. Like, no.
Oh no, I'm playing Candy Crush. Sorry.
Oh, that.
Well, I've been playing. What game have I been playing?
Fortnite?
Color Block Jam.
That sounds dumb.
It's
Is it like
fun.
Tetris?
Not really.
Oh,
It's where you have to like move the blocks. See,
that's
let me-
Tetris.
No, it's like this. You see, you gotta move them, so you gotta get them out.
That's
Yeah, that's
Tetris.
fucking
Ugh.
You gotta figure it out. I'm on level.
We used to do that, but they were like puzzles.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
That's Tetris for special kids, Izzy.
So I'm at level 270.
I'm
Congratulations.
so proud of you, Izzy.
I do my best. I do my best. I started playing this about 3 weeks
And there's
ago.
like 8 blocks on there. He's like, I'm on level 270, and there's 8
I'm
blocks.
11.
Sorry.
Yeah, I have goals with games. I was playing Brick Breaker, and I made it to level 1000, and the game just kept going. And I said, I can't do this anymore.
Hey, Mike, is Dark Legacy supposed to be like the answer to Rivals or something? Like, what is that supposed to be about? You would know. Mike's a game nerd.
DC Dark Legacy. Let's see. Nope, not on Australian.
It's an
phones
app game
anymore.
on your phone. Okay, so it's just
Mm. I need more dopamine.
Don't we all?
Y'all know where they sell it on the
But what
internet?
should I draw on this Batman adventure? Should I stick to an
You
animated
should
look
redo my Venom and send it to me.
on
So
this
I
book?
actually get one. Yeah, so I actually get one.
On
Yeah.
this book. Well, if I'll do it if you pay for it and you pay for the shipping.
Yeah, I'll pay for it with friendship and love.
Yeah, I don't buy into that. I have enough of that in my household.
I do not believe that for a second.
Yeah.
Can I pay
saw the
you
cat.
in? Can I pay you in hugs?
That's
Only
a
if that
little
hug reaches
uncomfortable.
If you said yes to JBL and then said no to me, I would have been very upset. just then.
JBL was going to give him a hug
Wait.
from the rear.
He's gonna
Look,
take my
I've
deal.
been hugged by JBL. It's
From the
it's
rear?
very warm.
Can I pay you in antidepressants?
I like to
really
be
good.
happy,
You an expired antidepressant.
You won't feel anything.
and I
It will
definitely
be
have
great.
access to all that. So that's not going to work.
What about if would you get paid in just depressants then?
In what?
In just depressants.
In just the presence?
Depressants.
Instead of,
Downers.
instead of antidepressants, you're
Oh,
going to
This
take stuff to
guy.
make you
oh,
depressed.
This is
Like,
the 8 block
you know,
Tetris
It's
guy.
called the news.
This is
Anyway,
the Tetris guy.
Remember that part where you said it's gonna go weird?
JB, I thought of you. I was reading this description of my buddy's Kickstarter book, and I thought of you when I read this and thinking, man, this is like would be your hell, your absolute hell. And in that he's talking about this book, and it's like everything's done on this, this hardcover with 200-pound GSM wood-free paper, blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? So they go everything done, practical materials, every practical step, pencils, erasers, India ink, water, brushes, vellum, Bristol board, art paper. The lettering was all inked with brush by hand.
Did the artists do it themselves?
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay, well then.
But I'm just thinking, if they presented to you as a letterer, that would be your own personal hell.
That's cute.
Here's a 96-page book for you to it's a collection of one-page stories, and you need to letter it by hand.
That's madam.
It would just be your hell.
Well, I can tell you right now, I would increase my rate.
Whoa.
What, $1 per letter, Justin?
I
would. It would probably be more than. Oh my gosh! Yeah, it would definitely.
Oh my gosh!
An
Millions.
hourly rate type of thing for that.
That looks really good, though.
Actually, to be fair, I would politely decline this job.
For your own sanity.
Izzy, I got one more offer. Could I pay you in birth control? Pills. They're pills.
For me?
Yeah.
I don't think I need them.
You'll just feel weird. Weird.
I don't think I don't think I need them.
Can I pay you in anti-birth control?
He needs that.
Ooh, that's
There you
nice,
go.
Izzy.
That's a nice Tom Randy.
That's nice.
Oh.
Can you make him big, Rob?
Hold on. I'm sorry. I was trying to work. Silly me.
Oh yeah, we know you were not involved in the conversation whatsoever.
No. Yeah. There. Oh, no, that's the one I want. That one. There you go.
There you go.
It reminds me of
Nice.
Adam Warlock or Magus.
Adam Warlock the Barbarian. Got it.
Yeah.
That'd be a good crossover mix for you. You can combine Adam Warlock and Conan.
That's a weird head.
I think this is Jim. No, this is Alex Maleev.
Maliev, yeah. Whatever, Maleev.
That's a weird head.
Look at that haircut. That's what my hair looks like right now.
I can draw with Sharpies.
Well, and here's the one I think you guys like. You'll like this one.
Will I?
Good
It could
one.
be Jean Grey. It could be Rogue. It could be pretty much anybody.
It
Electra.
could be Black Widow.
It could be Black Widow.
A generic woman who had to deal with a vinegar puss.
It could be Vinegar Puss.
No. Vinegar puss was the guy.
Was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Izzy, if you turn it over, it could be the Invisible Woman.
There you go.
That's fucking genius.
That's the way she changes. It's amazing.
2003.
Well, there
This
you
was
are.
free. So was this one. In fact, all of these were free.
Cowabunga Legion. What's up, White Tiger? Cool, calm, collected.
Oh my god.
What does your god have to do with it? Is he
My
hurting your
gods have many things to do with everything.
Be more esoteric.
So,
The universe is
so
here.
Bo, I'm going to draw this for you. I'm going to do this one for you. I'm going to send you a photo of it. And then you could print that photo. And then you have an Izzy piece.
I'm gonna make a suggestion for what you should do.
That's
You
too much
should
work.
draw
I was going to also, after Carolina, I'd like to make a suggestion.
an anthropomorphic penis dressed as Harley Quinn first appearance.
Yeah, I'm going to pass on that one.
Your loss.
What, you say
I'll be
yes?
okay.
JBL's like, I'm in trouble.
I will
can't-
have
I can't be around this shit.
I have some family members asking questions. They already asked questions, but they'll ask some more.
Okay. He's probably like, I'm sorry, honey.
Honey, what are you doing?
I was gonna suggest you do a big gargoyle on there, like a big gargoyle.
A
'Cause it's so
gargoyle?
dark.
Do a gargoyle from Gargoyles sitting on a gargoyle.
That's meta.
I got my brand new table that I got a little table which I
Have
wanted.
you drawn many Harlequins? Harlequins?
I've drawn
Oh my
plenty.
god, it's the back of Rob's hat. I don't think I've ever seen it.
You should do it. You should take that book and do something completely nothing related to it, and just like put punchline in it.
Damn, Xenomorph's got a healing factor.
Oh, there you go. Do a xenomorph. There you go on the cover. It makes
Xenomorph
perfect
versus
sense.
Wolverine.
Wearing a Harley Quinn hat.
I got my table set. It's right here.
Great koala in the sky.
Got my book.
What are you drawing? Have you drawn Harley Quinn before?
I have.
Was it good?
I like drawing old school Harley.
So like the cartoon one?
Yeah.
Draw her as
This one.
Dr. Quinzel, sitting
The
in
medicine
a
woman?
chair while Ivy is laying down on the couch.
I
Sorry.
did this one of Harley and Pamela where Harley wins an award,
Who's
but
Pamela?
it was actually
not-
Pamela's award, and Pamela's in the background like this.
Anderson?
Or you could go down my new
Nicely.
this idea I came up with for a new series of sketch covers, and this is superheroes on toilets, and just draw Harley Quinn sitting on the toilet with her pants around her ankles. I'm thinking I want to get like the Hulk like that, Spider. I just want a Batman.
You really want a Hulk?
When somebody draws Superman sitting on the toilet, want to say, what does he do? What do he do with the cape? Or is the cape up over his shoulder, back around? What are they doing? I think this could be a great series of sketch covers.
So Batman, if Batman was to do it, the cape will obviously be over the toilet.
Over the back of the toilet?
No, he'll be in the front all the way, because he'll be completely covered. All you see is like his hands holding the toilet paper.
All right, Darth Lopez, I'm going to have to say this, like, just because you're not the only one that said
when
this.
Thor's doing it, the Mjolnir could be sitting there next to the toilet with the toilet paper roll around the handle of Mjolnir, type thing.
Shane from...
I think that this could be a great series.
I love it.
Superheroes on the can.
Shane
Superheroes in the can.
from 1063 Comics
what the fuck?
also says that
Durs says
Aliens
they've already
is
been
really
done.
good.
Well, fuck you, Durs.
He has 3 of them in
Stealing
his bathroom.
Stealing my idea. What the hell?
He's looking at them right now.
Yeah, so listen, the Alien series is supposed to, for those of you that like it, it's supposed to be really good. Apparently, like so Darth has said he really likes it. 1063 and has also said that we should be reading it. I do not listen because I find them very scary. But yeah. Scary monsters.
I just got the Treasury edition of Alien Black, White, and Blood, and that's been pretty good.
Okay. Go Braves. Yeah, the gory stuff, I've always kind of been a bit of a vinegar puss, but I did get the Hyde Street. Hyde Street's got scary stuff, kind of spooky.
What about Al Capone Vampire?
That sounds fun.
That's a comic. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, I got it. So you said you want to see artists do variations of every single comic hero taking a deuce, taking on the toilet.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't specify they were doing a deuce. Just they were.
I
sitting
assume
down.
that
Sitting on the
would
throne.
sit down.
They're
because if they
sitting.
were sitting on the throne, they're
I don't
probably.
want- I don't want them
Superman likes
standing
to
up.
sit down
That's
as he
just-
pees.
How do
You
know?
sit when you pee?
I'm saying maybe Superman likes to sit down as he pees.
I don't think so.
You think get more control? Maybe
You think Superman's a sitter?
Maybe
I don't think
maybe
so.
Superman.
I think
Hey,
Superman.
Listen, you don't know if
Wait,
he's got
I
a
think
super
it's-
stream that he's got to
Yeah,
sit down.
exactly.
You don't know that that it comes out in a fork. He's older. He's old now. It could come out
Krypton
every which
shit.
way. He wants to make sure it's going in the hole.
Okay.
I think if
Lois
Superman does
doesn't
it-
want to sit on a wet spot. He's being
Are we
respectful.
talking about you or are we talking about, I mean, what are we talking
Here's how a Superman uses the bathroom. This is my intention. He's one of those guys that still pees on the stall, but the pants go down all the way
Well,
down.
all of them. The whole thing is
Like
with all of them, it
when
would
you were
have
a little
to be-
kid, the pants going down, the ankle. So the trunks are in the are
No,
at
no,
the
I don't.
kneecap.
I don't want any of them standing up and doing it. The whole thing is that it's got to be sitting down because
Yeah,
you're
but
more
Izzy's got a point.
vulnerable, and with the pants around the ankles type thing, that's just the more vulnerable. And I want to see what do you do with the rest of it. This is just like the way it should be, whether it's front or side view. Yeah, it's great. What do you do with this cape? Let's draw that out there. Hold on, let me bring this up. There you go. Now you got to do something with his cape, right? Is it just sitting wadded up behind him? Is it over his shoulder?
His cape, he was going to throw it back here. It was kind of.
No, he's holding the cape up so it wouldn't get wet. Because when you go to the bathroom, like a public bathroom, the floor is wet, so you try not to touch anything.
Forget the public bathroom. He could be in his own. The point is the cape when he stands up goes like to his mid calf, right? So if you sit down, it would be just sitting on the toilet unless he drapes it someplace else or holds it in his hands or something else. And that's just kind of like the whole part of this vulnerability. And like with Batman, like all these utilities spilling out from the belt on the floor as it's down. These are just like the fun things I think that would be fun to do with it. That's all.
Well, I was thinking, because you said that, there's one. Okay. I was thinking you could do.
He smashed the toilet. God.
No, as he's using it, all he says, Hulk smash.
All right.
Hulk
Well, this is all we
smash.
got time for today. I have to go now. I'll leave you on that pleasant thought of take your funniest superhero and imagine them sitting there on the
Pooping.
toilet. Iron Man having to step out of his iron suit.
No, he uses the bathroom in the suit. That's different. We already know that.
No, come on.
That's
Again,
established.
Izzy, this is a theme that they have to be done a certain way, regardless of whether or not there's other things that have been spelled out in the Marvel techno encyclopedias or whatnot. Don't matter. This is the theme and how, as the person commissioning said art, would want it done. End
Peter
of
Parker
story.
drops the toilet paper. And he has
Thank
to
you
web it.
all so much. Have a great day. Remember, we are Legion.